Mia, look. Isn't that your broke ex-boyfriend? A man sneered, wrapping his arm around Ethan Ye's former love. Staring at a G-Wagon he couldn't even afford the tires for. Pathetic. Just 24 hours ago, Mia had dumped Ethan in the street, choosing this man's Audi over their 3 years of love. Love needs material things, she had said, her voice like ice. And you're just a broke student. Now, his heart a frozen shard, Ethan ignored them. He turned to the salesperson. I'll take the G-Wagon. Full payment. Her new boyfriend laughed hysterically. You? You just lost your internship. I made sure of that. If you can buy this car right now, I'll get on my knees and bark like a dog. Without a word, Ethan produced a sleek, black card. A few minutes later, the contract was signed. The car was his. Mia stared in disbelief, her face pale. Impossible. How can you afford this? You were lying to me all along. The salesperson bowed deeply to Ethan before glancing at the stunned couple with disdain. For a gentleman of Mr. Ye's stature, a car worth $2 million is a trivial purchase. The Patek Philippe on his wrist alone is worth over $7 million. As they stood frozen in humiliation, a mechanical voice echoed only in Ethan's mind. Congratulations, host. You spent 1 million yuan. A 100x cashback of 210 million yuan has been deposited into your account. His life as a broke student was over. His journey as a god of wealth had just begun. Chapter 1. Shanghai, the city of magic, a place of vibrant energy and endless opportunity. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds, traffic flowed like a restless river, and people hurried along, chasing dreams and deadlines. Among them was Ethan Ye, a senior at Shanghai University. At 6'1" with broad shoulders and an effortlessly handsome face, he was a campus heartthrob. Today was his 3-year anniversary with his girlfriend, Mia Meng. He had just received his first month's salary from his internship, 5,000 yuan. He'd taken 2 hours off work, carefully selected a gift, and was planning a surprise. He rode his trusty electric scooter to the office building where Mia was interning, waiting for her to get off work. As people filed out, Ethan scanned the crowd, not wanting to miss her. Then he saw her, a girl in a white t-shirt and a black knee-length skirt, her long hair dancing in the breeze. As Mia looked around, Ethan's heart filled with anticipation. Just as he was about to call out, a black Audi A6 pulled up beside her. A man in his 30s stepped out, and Mia rushed forward, throwing her arms around him in a tight embrace. In that instant, Ethan froze. He fought the urge to throw a punch and stormed over to them, demanding an answer. Mia, who is he? Startled, Mia quickly let go of the man. Seeing Ethan's bloodshot eyes, she shrank back, grabbing the man's arm for protection. The Audi driver composed himself, patting Mia's back reassuringly. You must be Mia's boyfriend? Correction, ex-boyfriend. I'm her boyfriend now. Please don't harass my girlfriend in the future. The consequences could be severe, he said with a smirk. Mia, Ethan pleaded, didn't we promise to work hard together and get married after graduation? Have you forgotten all our vows? Ethan, since you're here, let's make it clear. We're breaking up, Mia said, her voice cold. You can't give me the life I want. Love doesn't pay the bills. Love needs material things to survive, and you're just a broke student. Don't bother me again, or you'll make my boyfriend angry. Kid, get lost. You're not good enough for her. The man added, squeezing Mia's rear. Go wait in the car, baby. I've booked a hotel. You'll be begging for mercy tonight. Hearing them flirt right in front of him shattered Ethan's heart. He watched the Audi drive away, the whispers and stares of onlookers burning his skin. He closed his eyes, tears streaming down his face, and stood there for a long time, as if saying goodbye to his youth, mourning his dead love. Memories of their 3 years together flashed through his mind, the laughter, the struggles. It was time to let go. Maybe he never really knew her at all. 3 years of love, defeated by the allure of money. Suddenly, a sharp pain pierced his mind. A mechanical voice echoed in his head. Congratulations, host. The 100x cashback system has been activated. For any amount you spend, you will receive a 100-fold cashback reward. All funds are legitimately sourced. For your convenience, you have been awarded a Global Bank Supreme Black Card. All cashback will be deposited into this account, which has now been placed in your backpack. Ethan was stunned. He fumbled with his backpack and, sure enough, found a card glowing with a faint black light. This wasn't a dream. He'd actually been chosen by a system. As an avid reader of web novels, Ethan knew exactly what this meant. He had often fantasized about this moment, and now, right after being dumped, it had come true. Thrilled, he picked up his fallen scooter and headed to a nearby convenience store. A bottle of water, please, he told the owner. He paid, and a moment later, the delightful voice returned. Congratulations, host. You spent 2 yuan. A cashback of 200 yuan has been deposited into your Supreme Black Card account ending in 8888. And a pack of premium cigarettes, Ethan added quickly. Kid, can't you buy everything at once? You're making an old man run around, the owner grumbled. Sorry, sir, Ethan said with a grin. Congratulations, host. You spent 50 yuan. A cashback of 5,000 yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Leaving the store, Ethan returned to his tiny rented room. Looking at the cramped space, he made a vow. He was going to spend, and spend big. His phone rang, interrupting his thoughts. It was Dylan Yang, the eldest of his 3 roommates. Hey Dylan, what's up? Ethan, me, Chris, and Wayne are at the old Sichuan hot pot place by campus. Get over here, we're waiting for you. All right, be right there. At the restaurant, Dylan was giving instructions to the other 2. When Ethan gets here, nobody mentioned the breakup. Just let him drink, let him vent. He acts tough, but he takes things hard. Got it, Chris said. I can't believe Mia, though. After how much Ethan cared for her. She posted a picture of herself kissing another guy on her social media feed today. The background was a cheap motel. It's shameless. Yeah, Wayne added. Ethan was with her for years, and they barely did more than hold hands. The moment they break up, she's in a hotel room with someone else. What a tramp. Poor Ethan. Just then, Ethan arrived, having taken a taxi and earned another round of cash back. He spotted his friends in a corner and walked over. Hey guys, what's the occasion? How's the internship going? I just got paid today, so dinner's on me. No arguments, he announced, pulling up a chair and cracking open a beer. The 3 friends exchanged puzzled glances. Had he not seen the social media post? We didn't order much, Ethan, Dylan said. If you want more, just add it. Ethan called the waiter over and ordered more lamb, tripe, and duck intestines. We're not far from graduation. What are your plans? Ethan asked, downing his beer. Dylan raised his glass. My family has a job lined up for me at one of their companies. I'll start there to get some experience. Chris pushed up his glasses. I'm planning to go back home and take the civil service exams. My parents are getting older, and I'm an only child. Chapter 2. Seeing the mood dip, Wayne chimed in with a grin. Don't worry, your man Wayne isn't going anywhere. I'm planning to buy a penthouse in Thompson Riviera one day. Everyone laughed and told him to get lost. You, buy a place at Thompson Riviera? They could sell you and not even afford the bathroom. As the night wore on, the pile of empty beer bottles at their feet grew, and their faces flushed with alcohol. Finally, Wayne looked at Ethan. So, you and Mia really broke up? He asked softly. Yeah, just today. Then how are you acting like nothing happened? What's the point of acting otherwise? I'm just glad I saw her true colors. It's for the best. A clean break, Ethan said slowly. Come on, let's drink. Drink today and worry tomorrow. When the mood was right, Ethan excused himself to use the restroom. On his way, he stopped by the front desk, ordered another case of beer, and settled the bill. A notification chimed in his mind. Congratulations, host. You spent 650 yuan. A cashback of 65,000 yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. He returned to the table, and the 4 of them reminisced about their 4 years together, lamenting how quickly time had passed. They drank and sang, their voices echoing through the night as they staggered home, arms slung over each other's shoulders, belting out a song about lifelong friendship. It was past 11 when Ethan got back to his apartment. He splashed some water on his face and collapsed into bed. The next morning, his alarm jolted him awake. He groaned, his head throbbing. After forcing down a large glass of water, he got ready and rode his electric scooter to work. He greeted the receptionist and sat down at his desk. Tom Zhang, another intern, leaned over. Ethan, did you hear? Because our last project went so well, they're giving one of us interns an early promotion to a full-time position. I overheard our supervisor saying it's probably going to be you. Really? Me? Yeah, you're the most capable one here. Who else would it be? Well, if I get it, dinner's on me, Ethan replied. Even with the system, he was pleased to have his skills recognized. Just then, their supervisor, Greg Wong, stepped out of his office. Everyone, stop what you're doing. I have 2 announcements. Once all eyes were on him, he nodded. First, the company has decided to offer an early full-time position to one intern. That person is William Wong. A murmur spread through the office. William Wong. The guy had no skills and 0 social awareness. Everyone had assumed he'd be the first one let go. The rumors must have been true. Greg Wong really was his uncle. Greg cleared his throat. Quiet down. Now for the second announcement. Due to a complaint from a client, Ethan Ye's internship will be terminated immediately. Ethan, you can pack your things and leave now. Ethan stood up. Greg, so the rumors about this useless nephew of yours are true. A talentless hack gets the first promotion? Do you think we're all blind? And you say I offended a client? What client? I haven't met a single client in the month I've been here. I'm not taking the fall for your nepotism. Pack your things and get out now. How dare you? Greg sputtered, his face red with anger at being exposed. Ethan quickly gathered his few belongings. You know what, Greg? I was planning on quitting anyway. Just you watch, you old bastard. Your time is coming. With the sympathetic gazes of his colleagues on him, Ethan walked out. On his way out, he found a trash can and dumped everything he had packed. With the system, why would he ever work for someone else again? His new life was just beginning. He hopped on his scooter, deciding his first order of business was a new phone. The one he had was painfully slow. He'd been saving the money for Mia's gifts. It was time to treat himself. He saw a Huawei flagship store and went inside. A friendly employee greeted him. "Hello, sir. Are you looking to buy a phone or a tablet?" "A phone. Do you have any recommendations?" "If you haven't decided on a model, you can try them out at our experience counter over here." After testing a few models, Ethan pointed at the Huawei Mate 60 Pro. "I'll take this one." Just then, a mocking female voice cut in. Well, if it isn't the great Ethan Yi, Shanghai University's campus idol. I heard Mia dumped you. Haha, look at you, with your broke-ass self. How could you ever be good enough for our Mia? She should have dumped you ages ago." Ethan turned to see Megan Zhang, Mia's best friend, a notorious gold digger who had always badmouthed him to Mia. "Megan, your mouth is as foul as ever. You should really try brushing your teeth before you leave the house." Ethan shot back. "You? No class at all. What, after getting dumped, you came here to leech off the free Wi-Fi? You can't afford a Huawei phone. And how would you know that? I'm here to buy one." "Huh, keep dreaming. You're too cheap to buy a Huawei. You know, I'm the one who introduced Mia to her new boyfriend. How about that? Does it sting?" Megan taunted. "Actually, I should thank you. If it weren't for you, I'd never have seen her true colors." Ethan turned to the sales clerk. "Let's go pay." At the counter, with accessories and everything else, the total came to 11,000 yuan. A voice in his mind confirmed the transaction. "Congratulations, host. You spent 11,000 yuan. A cashback of 1 million yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. After swapping his SIM card into the new phone, Ethan picked up his shopping bag, ready to leave. Megan stood nearby, her face a mask of disbelief. How could Ethan possibly afford such an expensive phone? She stepped in front of him. "I knew it. You were pretending to be poor all this time. Deceiving Mia? You're a scumbag. You deserve to be dumped." "Are you finished? If you are, get out of my way," Ethan said, his voice ice cold. A chill ran down Megan's spine, and she instinctively moved aside. As Ethan walked away, she snapped back to her senses, humiliated that she had let him intimidate her. She stormed out of the store, yelling curses after him. Riding his electric scooter, Ethan felt a sense of freedom. He checked his balance. The cash back in his black card account had already reached 2 million yuan. Becoming a millionaire in a single day felt incredible. He headed to Wanda Plaza, ready for a real shopping spree. He walked into an Armani store. Several sales associates were lounging around, chatting among themselves. They barely glanced up as he entered. Frowning slightly, Ethan ignored them and started browsing. He picked out 2 casual outfits. "Could you get these for me to try on?" he asked one of the associates. She sauntered over reluctantly, a professional but fake smile on her face. "Sir, these 2 outfits total 350,000 yuan. Are you sure you want to try them on? Are you worried I can't afford them?" Ethan asked coldly. "Not at all, sir. I'm just concerned about potential damage that could lead to unnecessary trouble. But if you insist, I'll get them for you," she replied, her expression screaming that he was wasting her time. "Get them," Ethan said flatly. A few moments later, she returned with the clothes. Ethan went into the fitting room. The transformation in the mirror was immediate. Clothes really do make the man. His entire presence seemed to shift. Satisfied, he walked out and handed the associate his black card. "Ring me up." The associate was stunned. She had been fully prepared for him to walk out empty-handed. "Right away, sir." As she took the card, she felt a jolt. Though she didn't know the full significance of a global bank Supreme black card, the premium material and the bank's prestigious name told her its owner was no ordinary person. After the transaction, she returned the card with both hands, her attitude now one of deep respect. The familiar voice sounded in his mind. "Congratulations, host. You spent 350,000 yuan. A cashback of 35 million yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. The massive jump in his net worth made him grin. Forgetting his earlier annoyance, he took his card and left. His next stop, Patek Philippe. The moment he entered the boutique, an employee greeted him warmly. Dressed in Armani, he no longer faced the same skepticism. After some enthusiastic recommendations, Ethan chose a classic Patek Philippe masterpiece worth 7 million yuan. Next, he bought a Hermes belt and a leather briefcase. By the time he left Wanda Plaza, his system's cashback rewards had reached a staggering 1 billion yuan. Standing at the entrance of the mall, feeling the warm sun on his skin, Ethan let out a triumphant shout. Awesome. People nearby gave him strange looks. He hopped back on his electric scooter and headed to his next destination, the Mercedes-Benz dealership. When he arrived, the security guard at the entrance did a double take. A handsome young man dressed head to toe in luxury brands, riding a cheap electric scooter. Was this some new trend among the rich? Ethan walked straight toward the G-Wagon, a car he had dreamed of for years. He had always imagined taking the girl he loved on a road trip in one. Standing before his dream car, his face lit up with excitement. Then, a harsh voice shattered the moment. "Mia, look. Isn't that your broke ex-boyfriend? Look at that sleazy grin on his face. You'd think he was planning to steal the car, huh?" "Victor, honey, don't even talk about him. You're the only one I care about now," Mia cooed. He's probably just here to wander around and score some free snacks, unlike you. You're a man who can actually afford a Mercedes. Ethan sighed. Of all the bad luck, running into these two again. Excuse me, he said, turning to a nearby salesperson, ignoring them completely. Is this G-Wagon available now? Yes, sir. The salesperson, Lily Lynn, replied politely. We have a fully loaded model in stock. If you purchase it today, you can drive it home this afternoon. She had overheard the couple's taunts and thought they were fools. The man in front of her was dripping in designer labels, and she had caught a glimpse of the Patek Philippe on his wrist, a watch worth millions. This Mr. Yi was clearly a billionaire. Haha, Ethan, are you seriously asking if it's in stock? Victor jeered. Are you trying to be funny? You just lost your internship. You probably have less than 5,000 yuan to your name. And you're pretending you can buy a G-Wagon? Do you have any idea what you're saying? Ethan's eyes narrowed. So it was you. That bastard Greg Wong. What is he to you? Haha, you just figured it out? Greg is my cousin. Let me tell you something, Ethan Yi. You crossed me. I'll make sure you can't find any work in Shanghai. You should just pack up and go back to your village. Victor's taunts grew more vicious. You think that can break me? You seriously underestimate me, Ethan said. Without the system, he wouldn't have this confidence. But now, he feared no one. Underestimate you? I've never even rated you. How about a bet? Ethan challenged. If I can buy this G-Wagon right now, you get on your knees and bark like a dog 3 times. You? You can't even afford the tires. Fine, I'll take that bet. If you buy it, I'll bark 100 times. But do you have the cash? Yeah, Ethan, Mia chimed in. How can a broke loser like you compare to Victor? Hearing Victor agree, Ethan pulled out his black card and handed it to Lily. Prepare the contract. Full payment. Lily respectfully took the card. Of course, Mr. Yi. Please wait a moment. I'll handle it immediately. 10 minutes later, she returned with the paperwork. Mr. Yi, the contract is ready. After you sign, the car is yours. As he signed his name, the system notification arrived. Victor and Mia stared in utter disbelief. Impossible. How could you afford that? You and this salesperson must be in on it together. You're trying to trick me. Lily, seeing them trying to back out of the bed, looked at them with disdain. Sir or Madam Mr. Yi has indeed purchased this Mercedes G-Wagon in full. I can vouch for it with the century-old reputation of Mercedes-Benz. Besides, for a man of Mr. Yi's stature too, 1 million yuan car is a trivial purchase. Do you see his watch? It's a classic Patek Philippe, valued at over 7 million yuan. Stunned into silence, Victor and Mia didn't know what to say. Ethan looked at them coldly. Fulfill your part of the deal. Get on your knees and bark. This can't be happening. How can you afford this? Mia shrieked, her mind reeling. You were lying to me all along. You had all this money, but you acted so poor. Why? I never would have left you. Her heart was a chaotic mess. She had genuinely liked Ethan. He was handsome, strong, and capable. But those things couldn't pay for the life she wanted. She had followed her friend Megan's advice and chosen Victor. Now, she saw how ridiculous she had been. She had thrown away a diamond in the rough. Victor's face flushed with rage. He slapped Mia hard across the face. Shut up. Let's go. There was no way he was going to kneel and bark. He had to escape this humiliating scene. Kid, don't think a little money makes you my equal, he snarled at Ethan. This isn't over. We'll meet again. With that final threat, Victor grabbed Mia and fled. Ethan watched them go, a wave of disappointment washing over him. Not for Mia, but for his past self. Had he really been so blind to have chosen such a materialistic woman? Mr. Yi, are you just going to let them go like that? Lily asked. In her opinion, they deserved a much harsher humiliation. Let them go, Ethan said. Shanghai is a big city, but it's also a small world. There will be other opportunities. Driving his brand new G-Wagon, Ethan cruised through the city, admiring the scenery. A wide grin spread across his face. Not having to work is damn awesome. And not having to work while being rich is even better. His phone rang. He answered, and a cheerful voice came through the speaker. Brother, guess who this is? A smile instantly formed on Ethan's lips. It was his younger sister, Elaine. They had been incredibly close since childhood. Let me guess. Is it my little piggy, Elaine? Hey, you're so mean to me. I have good news and bad news. Which do you want to hear first? She pouted playfully. Let's go with the bad news. Ugh, brother, you never play along. There is no bad news. The good news is, I got my acceptance letter. And guess which university? Peking University? Are we raising a genius in the family? Nope. You're so silly, brother. I got into Shanghai University. I'm going to see you soon. Aren't you excited to have your adorable little sister around? Not at all. You're a mischievous little rascal. Who knows what kind of trouble you'll cause me? You're the worst. Anyway, Mom and Dad are throwing a party for me in a few days to celebrate. Can you come back for it? Of course. For my little princess's party, I'll definitely be there. Yay, you're the best brother. I have to go. Mom and Dad are calling me for dinner. Don't forget to eat, okay? Ethan hung up, a warm feeling spreading through him. He adored his sister. When they were kids, she would always hide behind him after causing trouble, sticking her tongue out at their mom, and he often took the blame for her. On the other end of the line, Elaine skipped out of her room. Their mother was setting the table. You're a grown woman now, but you still run around like a whirlwind. Come on, dinner's ready. She then called out. Honey, stop fussing with your flowers and come eat. You could at least help me out a little. Coming, dear. You're so capable. I'd only get in your way, her father replied smoothly. Oh, you and your sweet talk. Just eat. Their mother said, clearly pleased. Mom, Dad, I just talked to my brother, Elaine announced. He said he's coming to my party. Sweetheart, your brother is busy with his internship in Shanghai. How could he have time to come back? He was probably just humoring you. You'll be going to Shanghai for school soon enough. Don't make him travel all this way, her mother said, her voice full of concern for her son. No, he'll come. My brother never breaks a promise, Elaine insisted. Her father chuckled. They say daughters are closest to their fathers, but you're all about your brother. You're breaking your old man's heart. Back in his car, Ethan felt a pang of homesickness. He hadn't been home since his internship started. He decided he would definitely go back for Elaine's party and stay for a few days. The thought of Elaine coming to Shanghai for college made him realize something. He needed to buy a house. With $2 billion in his account, buying property in Shanghai was more than feasible. And with the system, he'd just get more cash back. He decided to start looking for a place tomorrow. Just then, his stomach rumbled loudly. In all the excitement, he'd forgotten to eat. He pulled out his new phone and found a highly rated, traditional-style restaurant nearby, called Foaming Pavilion. He put it into his navigation and headed over. 10 minutes later, he arrived. The restaurant's entrance was a masterpiece of classic Chinese architecture, with intricately carved wooden doors and golden knockers. Inside, it was like stepping back in time to the Tang Dynasty, with antique tables, ornate screens, and delicate lanterns. The contrast between the bustling modern city outside and the serene, ancient world within was stunning. Since it was still early, the restaurant wasn't crowded, and he was seated immediately. What can I get for you, esteemed guest? A waiter asked. The formal address caught him off guard. The waiter smiled. At Foaming Pavilion, we maintain a traditional atmosphere, right down to the way we speak. If you need anything, just call for the shower. Ethan found the concept novel and quickly adapted. Shower, bring me a few of your signature dishes and a pot of tea. Right away, esteemed guest. I will inform the kitchen. After ordering, Ethan relaxed, watching a graceful woman in traditional attire playing a guzheng in the corner. She wore a light green gown and a white silk veil that hid her face, adding to her mystique. He poured himself a cup of tea, the beautiful music washing over him. It was pure bliss. He could understand why ancient scholars cherished their moments of poetry, wine, and music. As time passed, the restaurant filled up, and a long line formed at the door. Senior Ethan, over here. A sweet voice called out to him. He looked over and saw a young woman in a white t-shirt and blue jeans waving at him. He tried to place her, but drew a blank. She pulled a slightly heavier girl with glasses along with her and approached his table. Hi, Senior Ethan. I'm Nina Lee, a sophomore at Shanghai University. This is my roommate, Shannon, she said nervously. You gave the welcoming speech to us freshmen when we started. Your speech was so inspiring. You became an idol to a lot of us. Nina had been captivated by his charisma back then, but had buried her crush after learning he had a girlfriend. When she heard he had recently broken up, her feelings resurfaced, but she hadn't been able to find him on campus. Oh, hello. Is there something I can help you with? Ethan asked. Well, we got here a bit late, and the wait for a table is really long. We were wondering if we could possibly share your table? Nina asked, looking at him with pleading eyes that seemed to say she would cry if he refused. Don't just stand there. Have a seat. Dinner's on me tonight, Ethan said with a smile. She reminded him of his sister, Elaine, with her playful and spirited nature. Beaming, Nina pulled Shannon into a seat. Waiter, 2 more sets of utensils, please. When no one responded, she looked confused. Ethan chuckled. This is a traditional-style restaurant. You have to speak the old way. Nina thought for a moment, then called out, Shower? 2 more sets of bowls and chopsticks. Right away, esteemed guests, a waiter replied. Senior Ethan, this place is so cool. I love it, Nina exclaimed. The 3 of them enjoyed a pleasant meal together. The relaxed and cheerful atmosphere was something Ethan had been missing. Senior Ethan, Nina began, fidgeting with her chopsticks. I know it's not my place to ask, but did you and the senior Mia really break up? She clenched her fists, her gaze fixed on him, a mixture of nerves, hope, and fear. She was afraid of angering him, hopeful for a certain answer, and terrified of losing this chance. Those who leave me cannot be held onto, like yesterday. Those who trouble my heart bring only sorrow today. Ethan recited with a sigh. You can't keep someone who wants to go, and you can't avoid the pain that's meant to come. He was still processing the end of a 3-year relationship. He could accept a breakup, but not betrayal. Love's origin is a mystery, its depths profound. Hate's end is unknown, but can vanish with a smile, Nina countered softly. Senior, it's a part of life. You have to look past it. Time is the best medicine. It helps you forget, and it helps you find someone new. She looked at the boy she admired, her heart aching for him. Of all of life's ailments, only lovesickness has no cure, Ethan murmured. Nine-leaf chonlu, a winter cicada pupa, brewed with last year's snow, can cure the world's lovesickness, Nina replied, challenging him. Chonlu has 7 leaves. There are no pupae in winter. How can you gather last year's snow? Lovesickness cannot be cured. Summer withered grass is the 9-leaf chonlu. Dig 3 feet down, and the hibernating cicada is found. Snow that falls on New Year's Eve has crossed the year. Once the farewell has passed, lovesickness can be healed. But if the love isn't bone deep, why seek a cure? This medicine is not as bitter as the sickness itself. How can it heal a lovesick poison? Okay, you two literary geniuses, Shannon interrupted with a laugh. How did we get from a breakup to a debate on lovesickness? You've totally lost me. Can we talk about something a simple person can understand? Please, think of the academically challenged among us. Ethan broke into a broad smile, the gloom lifting from his shoulders. Haha, was my heartbroken act convincing? The past is the past. I'm not that fragile. You don't need to comfort me, Junior. He was surprised at how much he had opened up to a girl he had just met. Senior, can I get your contact info? Nina asked happily. You treated us to dinner tonight after we crashed your table. I want to treat you next time. She could have insisted on splitting the bill, but this way, she had a perfect excuse to ask him out alone next time. The thought made her ecstatic. Ethan pulled up his QR code, and both Nina and Shannon added him. He then paid the bill, collecting another round of cash back. Seeing it was getting late, he asked them, Are you two heading back to campus or going out? We should probably get back to school, they decided. Then I'll give you a ride. The 3 of them left the restaurant. When they reached his G-Wagon, Nina gasped. Senior, is this your car? Yeah, just got it today. But I heard that I was dumped for being poor. It's true, Ethan said with a wry smile. Maybe it was fate. The ride to the university was quiet. Nina watched Ethan's reflection in the window, his profile sharp and focused. Her mind drifted back to the first time she saw him, the sunny, smiling boy whose energy was infectious. Now, that smile was gone, replaced by a hardened resolve. This, she supposed, was what it meant to grow up. After dropping them off, Ethan didn't leave. Instead, he drove to his old dorm, a place he hadn't visited in a while. Ethan, what are you doing back here? Wayne said, looking up from his computer. Something on your mind? Come on, tell your big brother Wayne. Make my day. Chris also sat up, his eyes widening. Whoa, Ethan, did you win the lottery? Those are some serious brands you're wearing. That stuff isn't cheap. Wayne then took a closer look, his gaze landing on Ethan's wrist. Holy crap, is that a Patek Philippe? Dude, you struck it rich. Tell me, did some rich older woman take a liking to you? Introduce me. Get lost, Ethan laughed. No rich woman. It just fell from the sky. You're no fun, Godfather. Wayne joked, referencing an old inside joke. I just looked it up. That watch is 7 million yuan. Seriously, what's going on? If you don't tell us, I'm gonna have to get medieval on you. Ethan looked at his 2 excited friends, unsure of how to explain. The system was a secret he had to keep. After a moment, he came up with a story. After the breakup, I was cleaning out my apartment and found an old hard drive. It had 200 Bitcoin on it. I just sold them yesterday. Dude, you just hit the jackpot. Wayne exclaimed, his eyes wide. There was no jealousy in his expression, only a touch of envy and genuine happiness for his friend. Man, it's true what they say, comparisons are killer. You have to treat us. It's like the old saying, a blessing in disguise, Chris said, patting Ethan's shoulder seriously. Getting rich right after a breakup proves Mia wasn't the one for you. But you have to stay grounded. Don't let the money go to your head and waste this good fortune. Chris, you should have been a professor instead of going into civil service, Wayne retorted. Always with the lectures. If I suddenly had 100 million, I'd be living it up, experiencing the good life. What's the point of working hard if you can't enjoy it? All right, you too, don't worry, Ethan cut in. I have a plan. You guys wait here. I'm going to run to the campus market and grab some more stuff for us to drink. Ethan ordered some barbecue on his phone and then headed downstairs. The market was just a few minutes walk away. Well, if it isn't Ethan. Long time no see. How's the internship going? The owner, Liu Zhao, greeted him with a warm smile. They were both from the same hometown, a city whose people rarely moved away, so they had formed a special bond over time. Hey Leo, my internship ended early. Just came back to campus to see everyone. Is it just you today? Where's your wife? Ah, the little one's sick, so she's at home taking care of him. What can I get for you? I'll give you a discount. Thanks, Leo. I'll go grab a few things. Ethan returned a few minutes later with his arms full of snacks. And a case of beer, please. What's the total? 158. Just give me 150. And hey, kid, take it easy on the drinking. Stop by more often. Once you graduate, we won't see each other as much. Don't worry, Leo, I'll still come visit after I graduate. See you later, the guys are waiting. Back in the dorm, Ethan spread the food and drinks on the table. The 3 young men sat around it, beer in hand, as moonlight streamed through the window, illuminating their youthful faces. As the alcohol began to work its magic, they started sharing their stories. Wayne, Ethan, Chris began, his voice thick with emotion. I never wanted to leave Shanghai, but my parents had me late in life, and I'm their only child. They work manual labor jobs just to put me through school. I remember one time, my dad cut his hand at the construction site. To save money, he refused proper treatment and lost a finger. When I saw him, he was trying to comfort me, telling me not to worry. My heart shattered. I hated that I wasn't growing up fast enough, that I was a burden. From then on, I studied like my life depended on it, because I knew it was the only way to change my fate. You guys sometimes joke that for a big guy from Shandong, I'm as stingy as they come. But I know the value of money. It was bought with my father's finger. I couldn't waste a single cent. Now that I'm about to graduate, I want to go home, take the weight off his shoulders, and let him rest. I want to show him his son is grown up and can be his support. Ethan didn't know how to comfort the tear-streaked Chris. He simply raised his glass. To you, Chris. A true man of Shandong. You've got heart. Cheers. Next, it was Wayne's turn. You guys always see me joking around, thinking I'm carefree, right? It's just an act. My parents divorced when I was young and started new families. I grew up with my grandparents. Kids at school used to bully me for being a kid with no mom or dad. And they were right. They were never in my life. Except for the cold child support payments my grandpa had to go demand from them. I might as well have been an orphan. Eventually, I started fighting back. Anyone who mocked me got a beating. Soon, no one dared to say anything. But I didn't have any friends either. After my grandparents passed away, I just stopped caring. No expectations, no disappointments, no attachments, so I could live however I wanted. But who can understand the despair of a little boy, screaming in the pouring rain, trying to call back a figure walking away into the night? They drank again, a toast to drowning their sorrows. Then, Chris and Wayne turned to Ethan, their expressions saying, "We've talked. Now it's your turn." Ethan set down his glass, lost in thought. My father was a factory worker, my mom a housewife. I have a sister 4 years younger than me. My parents argued, but they loved each other. It was a happy family. If I have one regret, it's my best friend. When we were kids, we used to play on a suspension bridge near my house. One hot summer day, he wanted to go for a swim. I couldn't swim, so I watched from the bank. The water must have been too cold, because he got a cramp. He was flailing, screaming my name. I was panicked, helpless. I ran around yelling for help. It felt like an eternity before someone found him and pulled him out. He survived, but the lack of oxygen caused severe brain damage. His mind is forever stuck at the age of 7. After that, I practiced swimming relentlessly. I'm a great swimmer now, but I can't go back in time and pull that 7-year-old boy out of the water. The three of them drank, cup after cup, sharing their deepest pains. In that moment, they forgot time, forgot sorrow, and simply reveled in their friendship as the rain began to fall outside, washing over the city and witnessing their bond. Morning sunlight streamed through the curtains, waking Ethan. His head throbbed. He struggled to sit up, a collection of empty bottles and leftover food on the table a testament to the previous night. He found a glass, filled it with water, and gulped it down, feeling slightly more human. Seeing Chris and Wayne still sound asleep, he moved quietly, opening a window to let in the fresh air. He cleaned up the mess, bagging the trash and wiping down the table. After dropping the garbage in the bin outside, he headed for the campus cafeteria. "Auntie, a bowl of millet porridge, please," he said to the woman at the counter. When she handed him the bowl, he reached for his phone to pay, only to find the screen dark. He'd forgotten to charge it. Just as embarrassment set in, the sound of a successful payment broke the silence. "Good morning, Senior Ethan. Fancy meeting you here again," a cheerful voice said. It was Nina Lee, a bright smile on her face. "Morning, Nina. My phone died. You saved me. I would have been so embarrassed." "Oh, so that's why you didn't reply to my text last night. I thought you were ignoring me and I was sad for a while," she said, her tone playful. "Come on, let's find a table before the porridge gets cold." They sat down, and Ethan took a spoonful of the warm porridge. It spread through him, restoring some of his energy. He noticed Nina staring at him, her chin propped in her hands. "What is it? Is there something on my face?" Nina blushed. "And no, I was just thinking, with a handsome face like yours, it's a shame you're not a celebrity." "I might be a little handsome, but a celebrity is a stretch," he said, amused by her reddened cheeks. "By the way, shouldn't you be in class? Getting into trouble, Junior? You're too modest, Senior. You have no idea how many girls on campus have a crush on you. And I don't have class this morning, just one in the afternoon. I'm a good student, I don't skip," she said proudly. "Hey, you can call me Nina. Calling me Junior feels so formal. And, can I call you Ethan?" Seeing the hopeful look in her eyes, Ethan nodded. "Ethan it is." "Ethan. Hee, Ethan," she repeated happily. "So, there's a new movie out tonight. Would you go with me? Please." Ethan thought for a moment. He had nothing planned. He nodded again. "Sure. Yes. My roommates are going to die of envy when they find out the campus heartthrob is taking me to the movies," she squealed, a dreamy look on her face. Ethan chuckled. "Nina, I have to run some errands, so I'll head out now. I'll pick you up tonight." "Okay. Don't forget, Ethan." After they parted, Ethan went to his car and plugged his phone into a power bank. In this day and age, a dead phone was a major handicap. Once it powered on, He found the number for a real estate agent who had helped him before. Hey Alex, it's Ethan. Do you have any listings at Thompson Riviera for sale? Ethan, struck it rich, have you? Looking to buy? I do have a couple of large penthouses there, but the price is steep. You know, because of the name. Great. Let's meet at the entrance to Thompson Riviera in half an hour. Ethan, are you serious? One of those places is over 100 million. You're not kidding, are you? Don't worry, Alex. I'm about to give you a very big commission today. Ethan started the car and drove towards the most prestigious address in Shanghai. Arriving at the gate, he watched the sunlight dapple through the trees, feeling a thrill of excitement. He was about to become a resident here. Alex arrived soon after and spotted Ethan next to the Mercedes G-Wagon. He hurried over. Ethan, you've been holding out on me. Driving a G-Wagon now? I guess you renting that tiny apartment was just you experiencing life, huh? You really know how to play. Come on, I'll show you the property. Inside the complex, lush greenery and manicured lawns created a serene atmosphere. In the central plaza, a grand fountain danced to the rhythm of music. The amenities were top-notch, with a gym, swimming pool, and 24-hour security. Alex led him to the apartment. As he opened the door, they saw another agent, Kin Shun, showing the place to a middle-aged couple. The man was a caricature of new money, draped in designer labels from head to toe, a comically large gold chain around his neck. The woman was similarly adorned in expensive but mismatched clothes, her fingers laden with rings and her face caked in makeup that couldn't hide the passage of time. Seeing them enter, the woman spoke in a shrill, sarcastic tone. What's the meaning of this? You think we can't afford it, so you double-book viewings? My apologies, I never doubted your ability to purchase, Kin said obsequiously. Let me find out what's going on. He turned to Alex. Alex, what do you think you're doing? Are you trying to sabotage my sale? If you can bring clients, why can't I? Alex shot back. Don't be ridiculous, Kin sneered. You brought a kid to see this place? What a joke. And all those brands he's wearing. They have to be fakes. Ethan had heard enough. How do you know I can't afford it? He said coldly. I came here with Alex today to buy a home. Kid, you've got a big mouth for someone so young, the man chimed in mockingly. Do you have any idea how much this place costs? Go work for a few decades and save up for a down payment first. Mr. Huang, you're absolutely right, Kin fawned. Young people these days are so ambitious with nothing to back it up. He's probably just here to take some photos to show off. Unlike you, sir. One look, and it's clear you have the means to buy this property. Seeing Kin's blatant sycophancy, Alex's face turned red with anger. You bootlicking dog. You say one more word about my friend, and I swear I'll break your legs. Ethan quickly pulled him back. Alex, don't waste your anger on a nouveau riche fool and his lapdog. It's much more satisfying to just slap them in the face with reality. At the word nouveau riche, the woman shrieked. Ever since they'd become wealthy, their lack of taste had made them the subject of private ridicule, and she hated the term more than anything. You little brat, who are you calling nouveau riche? I'll tear your mouth out. See, Alex, Ethan said calmly. Her true colors are showing. Not just nouveau riche, but a shrew as well. The man, Howard Huang, glared at Ethan. You're arrogant, kid. If you're so capable, then buy this apartment. Do you have what it takes? And you're so sure I don't? If I buy it, I want you to bow and apologize to me and my friend. Fine. But if you can't, you'll have to bear the consequences. Alex made a quick call to his office. A short while later, the agency's manager arrived with a finance officer and the purchase contract in hand. You must be Mr. Yi. It's a pleasure to meet such a promising young man. The manager, Sam's son, said warmly. I'm Sam's son. I've brought the contract. If everything looks good to you, we can sign right now. As a veteran manager, Sam was an excellent judge of character. He didn't underestimate Ethan because of his age. Instead, he recognized the quiet confidence, impeccable taste, and undeniable air of power that surrounded him. Ethan glanced over the contract, saw no issues, and signed his name. Mr. Son, should I do a wire transfer, or can I use a card? Howard Huang and his wife burst out laughing. A card? That's hilarious. This apartment is at least 120 million. I've never heard of a card with a limit that high. You've taken your act too far, kid. Ignoring them, Ethan pulled out his supreme black card. Calling you nouveau riche was an understatement. You're a frog in a well, pretending to know the size of the sky. Mr. Son, please run the card. Let's broaden their horizons. When Sam's son saw the card, his body jolted as if struck by lightning. He had seen one just once before, in the hands of a legendary tycoon. This wasn't just a card. It was a symbol of ultimate status. His hands trembling, Sam took the card and handed it to the finance officer. The transaction was approved. The system's voice echoed in Ethan's mind. Congratulations, host. You spent 120 million yuan. A cashback of 12 billion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Sam returned the card to Ethan with both hands, his voice shaking with reverence. Mr. Yi, we can handle all the subsequent paperwork for you. If you have any needs at all, please contact me directly. It would be my honor to serve you. Please, accept my business card. The Huangs stared in disbelief. Impossible. No card can handle a transaction that large. You're all in on this together, trying to scam me. Before Ethan could respond, Sam stepped forward, his expression thunderous. Insolence. How dare you speak to Mr. Yi that way? He was right to call you a frog in a well. Do you have any idea what this card is? It's the Global Bank Supreme Black Card. There are no more than 10 of them in the entire country. Membership is by invitation only, and the minimum requirement is 10 billion yuan in liquid assets. Do you hear me? Liquid assets. This card is not just for transactions. It is a symbol of power. For a man like Mr. Yi, crushing you would be like crushing an ant. And you still dare to be so presumptuous. Howard Huang and his wife collapsed to the floor, terrified by Sam's words and the realization of who they had offended. They began to crawl towards Ethan, begging for forgiveness. Get out, Ethan said, his voice laced with disgust. Don't dirty my new home. Now that they were defeated, he had no interest in tormenting them further. Mr. Son, do you have any villas for sale? Mr. Yi, please call me Sam. A standard villa wouldn't be suitable for someone of your status. However, there is one option. The Shun family of Shanghai is facing some financial difficulties and is looking to sell their Cloud 9 Villa, number 6. If you're interested, I can contact them for you. Cloud 9 villas were architectural marvels, the pinnacle of luxury and status in Shanghai. Ethan nodded, satisfied. Arrange it and let me know. Then we won't disturb you any longer, Mr. Yi. Goodbye. After Sam and his team left, Ethan took a moment to admire his new home. The living room had soaring ceilings with crystal chandeliers. A wall of floor-to-ceiling windows offered a breathtaking panoramic view of the city. The walls were adorned with original artwork. In the center of the room sat a custom leather sofa. It was perfect. He thought of his sister, Elaine. She would absolutely love this place. He checked the time. It was almost time to pick up Nina for their date. He drove away from his new home and headed back to the university. He arrived a little early, so he stopped at a nearby boba shop to grab 2 drinks. Most girls like boba, right? As he walked back, he saw Nina standing by his car, looking around. He jogged the last few steps. Ethan, confess. Were you off checking out other girls? She teased, her eyes sparkling. Looking at her adorable expression, Ethan instinctively reached out and ruffled her hair. Nina's face instantly turned bright red. Realizing he might have overstepped, Ethan quickly apologized. Sorry, Nina, I didn't mean to. I saw you weren't here yet, so I grabbed us some boba. I hope you like it. Thank you, Ethan. And how did you know I love boba? She said, her blush deepening. And I wasn't mad. Getting a head pat from the famous campus heartthrob. My friends would be so jealous. In her mind, she was kicking herself for blushing so obviously. If only she had taken a picture to capture that moment forever. I've already got the tickets, she said brightly. It's at the Wanda Cinema. Let's go. They got in the car and soon arrived at the theater. While Nina went to pick up the tickets from the kiosk, Ethan headed to the concession stand. Hello, handsome. What can I get for you? The woman behind the counter said, her eyes lighting up. A large popcorn, please. She filled the bucket to the brim and handed it to him, her gaze lingering. Are you here alone? I get off at 9. If you're interested, we could grab a drink. Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. The woman was at least 20 years his senior. He took the popcorn and made a hasty retreat. Nina saw him hurrying back, looking flustered. Ethan, what's the rush? You're sweating. Here, take a tissue. He wiped his brow, trying to come up with a plausible excuse. He couldn't possibly tell her he was running away from an aggressive older woman. I was just worried we'd missed the start of the movie, he lied. She seemed to buy it. He wiped his forehead again. A guy really had to know how to protect himself out there. They found their seats in the dark theater. As the lights dimmed and the movie began, they settled in. It was a story about high school sweethearts who worked hard to get into the same university. Just as they were about to get married, the heroine died in an accident. The hero went through with the wedding ceremony alone and lived the rest of his life in solitude. By the end, Nina was a sobbing mess, clutching Ethan's arm and wiping her tears on his sleeve. He did his best to comfort her. Come on, Nina, let's get something to eat. My stomach is growling. You need to eat too, or you won't have any energy left to cry. She burst out laughing through her tears. What a strange way to console someone. Ethan was such a straight shooter. They found a Korean barbecue place in the same mall. The charcoal sizzled, and the aroma of grilling meat filled the air. Nina expertly cooked a slice of beef, placed it on a lettuce leaf, added sauce and a slice of garlic, then wrapped it up and held it out to him. Ethan, thank you for coming with me tonight. As a token of my gratitude, here's a wrap I made just for you. Try it. Not everyone gets this special treatment. He took it and tasted it. It was delicious. Across the table, Nina was smiling so wide her eyes had disappeared into crescents. It's really good, he said sincerely. The beef is so tender, and the garlic adds a nice kick. Most girls don't like garlic. I saw it online once, she explained happily. Eating meat without garlic is like missing half the flavor. I tried it, and it's true, though it does leave your breath a little fragrant. They ate and talked, Nina sharing funny stories from her life, while Ethan listened, chiming in occasionally. Nina, you keep eating. I'm just going to use the restroom. I'll be right back, he said. As he stood up, she stopped him. Ethan, wait. She rummaged through her purse and pulled out a small pack of tissues, handing it to him. He stared at it, completely baffled. Why was she giving him tissues to go to the restroom? After a 3-second pause, realization dawned on both of them. Ethan looked at Nina, whose face was now the color of a ripe apple, with a strange expression. He took the tissues. Thanks. Don't get the wrong idea, she stammered, wanting to crawl into a hole. I just thought. You might want to wipe your hands after you wash them. Nothing else. I swear. Ethan just smiled at her flustered explanation and headed to the restroom. This junior of his was incredibly cute. On his way back, Ethan stopped at the counter to pay the bill and collected his cash back. As he approached their table, he saw a stylish, beautiful young woman standing next to Nina. They seemed to be arguing. He hurried over. Nina, what's going on? Nina explained, her voice trembling with anger. The woman was Tiffany Mu, a high school classmate. Tiffany had a crush on a boy named Brandon Zhang, but Brandon had confessed his feelings to Nina. Nina had rejected him. When Tiffany later confessed her own feelings to Brandon and was also rejected, she blamed Nina, harassing and slandering her ever since. Today, she had seen Nina's location tag on social media and came looking for trouble. Ethan looked at Tiffany. She was pretty, but her logic was completely twisted. Well, Nina, is this your new boyfriend? Tiffany sneered. He's nothing special. Certainly no match for my Brandon. Not only is Brandon handsome, he's the heir to the Zhang Corporation. Your taste is as bad as ever. Despite her words, she was burning with jealousy. Why did every handsome guy fall for this little tramp, Nina? What was so wrong with her? Hearing Tiffany insult Ethan, Nina's anger flared. You can say whatever you want about me, but you don't get to talk about Ethan. In my eyes, he's the best, and no one compares. Oh, how touching. So protective, Tiffany mocked. Nina, you're so good at acting. Playing the cute, innocent victim all the time. Aren't you tired of it? You know what they say, a wicked person is always so dramatic. You'd better apologize to Nina, Ethan said, his voice turning cold. Or you'll regret it. Apologize? What a joke. Anyone who would hang out with a tramp like Nina can't be any good either. You two dogs are a perfect match, Tiffany spat, her jealousy intensifying as she saw Ethan defend Nina. With a sharp crack, a hand struck Tiffany's face. She clutched her cheek, staring in disbelief. Nina, that little wretch, had actually slapped her. Snapping out of her shock, she lunged at Nina like a madwoman. You little witch. How dare you hit me? I'll kill you. Ethan was momentarily stunned. He hadn't expected Nina to have such a fierce side. Seeing Tiffany charge, he quickly stepped in front of Nina, blocking the attack. Just then, mall security arrived and pulled them apart. As a crowd began to gather, Nina looked at Ethan apologetically. He gave her a reassuring glance. Realizing she wouldn't get her revenge today, Tiffany shot them a final hateful look. This isn't over, she snarled, before scurrying away. Ethan compensated the restaurant for the minor damages, and then he and Nina left. In the car, Nina sat with her head bowed low, certain that she had ruined her image in Ethan's eyes and that he would want nothing to do with her now. Ethan found her posture amusing. So brave back there, and now you're hiding like a quail. Ethan, I know I shouldn't have hit her, but I couldn't help it. She can say anything she wants about me, but when she talks about you, I can't let that go. Her voice was small and tight. In my heart, you're the best. Maybe you won't want to see me again after this, but I still have to tell you. I like you. I've liked you since the first time I saw you. I wanted to confess back then, but I found out you had a girlfriend, so I backed off. I just watched you from afar, burying my feelings. When I heard you broke up, I couldn't stop myself from trying to get closer to you, hoping you would notice me. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I caused today. With that, she opened the car door to leave. Ethan grabbed her arm and pulled her back. He wasn't a fool. He had noticed her crush on him for a while now. The fact that he hadn't rejected her advances, that he had agreed to see a movie with her, meant he felt something too. After his last betrayal, he was afraid to start a new relationship. But if he pretended not to understand now, he would lose her for good. You're just going to leave without hearing my answer? Nina sat back down, her body tense, too afraid to speak for fear of rejection. I can see that you like me, Ethan said softly, looking directly at her. But I think the confession part should be my job. Nina, will you be my girlfriend? An ecstatic expression bloomed on her face. She launched herself across the console and pressed her lips firmly against his. It was a kiss she had waited 2 years for, a moment that seemed to stop time, filling her with a sweetness she had never known. When they finally broke apart, they just looked at each other and smiled. Ethan, you can take me back to campus now, she said, her voice full of bliss. From now on, this handsome guy was her boyfriend. The thought made her want to squeal with joy. They walked hand in hand along a quiet path on campus, moonlight filtering through the trees. Nina twirled around him, her happy steps like a dance. She led him through every corner of the university, as if making up for 2 years of missed moments. Nina, Senior Ethan, you two are. Her roommate, Shannon, spotted them and her jaw dropped. She knew Nina liked him, but she hadn't expected it to happen so fast. I guess it's true what they say, it's easier for a girl to chase a guy. Shannon covered her eyes playfully. I didn't see anything. I definitely did not see you and Senior Ethan holding hands. Shannon, you're terrible. Nina laughed, letting go of Ethan's hand to chase her roommate, a tickle fight ensuing. Seeing Leo's campus store nearby, Ethan called out, "Hey, let's go grab some snacks." The two girls stopped their roughhousing and joined him. In the store, Ethan greeted the owner. "Hey Leo, how's your little one feeling?" Leo's eyes lit up seeing Ethan with two young women. "Much better, thanks. And who are these lovely ladies? Which one is your girlfriend?" Ethan put his arm around Nina. "This is my girlfriend, Nina. And this is her roommate, Shannon. And Leo, since I'm bringing friends, you have to give me a good discount." "You rascal, when have I not given you a discount? Go on, get your girlfriend some treats." They filled a shopping cart with all sorts of snacks. After paying, Ethan carried the bags and walked Nina back to her dorm. At the entrance, Shannon wisely took the bags and headed upstairs, leaving them alone. Nina looked at Ethan with adoration and wrapped her arms around him. "Thank you, Ethan," she whispered. "I was so happy today. And your hugs are so warm." With that, she darted into the building. Ethan watched her go, a smile on his face. This was what a real relationship felt like. He realized his time with Mia had never been a partnership, just a one-sided effort where he was more of a doormat with a boyfriend title. This was so much better. When Nina got back to her dorm, she was greeted by three smiling faces. Crystal Sun and Bella Lee immediately started reenacting the affectionate scene they had just witnessed downstairs. Nina's face flushed, and she dove onto her bed, pulling the covers over her head. But her friends weren't about to let her off that easily. They pulled her up, demanding details. "All right, Nina, spill it. How did you manage to snag our campus heartthrob, Senior Ethan?" Yeah, tell us. He's my dream guy, and you just reeled him in." Nina feigned a pout. "What do you mean? I'm adorable. Why wouldn't Ethan like me? You're all just jealous of my talent and beauty." The three girls descended on her, tickling her mercilessly until she surrendered, laughing. Okay, I'll tell you everything." She recounted the day's events, from the movie to the confrontation with Tiffany Moo. "So, your old classmate Tiffany didn't just fail to ruin your night. She actually helped you get together with him," Bella remarked. "She must be furious." "It's true, Nina. You have the luck of a fool," Crystal added with a laugh. "If Tiffany knew, she'd probably explode." "Our Nina has finally gotten her happy ending," Shannon said, revealing a little secret. "You guys didn't know, but she's had a crush on him since freshman year. She used to ask me to help her find out information about him. Now, her wish has come true." "Oomph. I see all those snacks aren't enough to keep your mouth shut. I'm taking them back," Nina joked, lunging for the bags, which led to another round of playful fighting. Meanwhile, in the city of Jincheng, Elaine watched her parents bickering over what to watch on TV. It was a daily ritual. They'd argue, then 5 minutes later act as if nothing happened, being sickeningly sweet to each other. It was exhausting. She picked up her phone and sent a message to Ethan. "Brother, when are you coming home? I haven't seen you in forever. Your poor sister has to watch mom and dad being all lovey-dovey every day. It's torture for a single girl like me." Ethan had just arrived back at his Thompson Riviera apartment. He was lounging on his massive, soft bed, smiling like an idiot. When his phone buzzed, he thought it was Nina. He read Elaine's message and typed back. "I'll be back in a couple of days, little sis. Don't worry, I won't miss your celebration party. Just ignore mom and dad. I've been through it too. As long as they're happy, that's all that matters." Just then, his phone rang. It was Sam's son. "Mr. Yi, my apologies for calling so late. I've made contact regarding the Shin family's Cloud9 villa. The head of the family, Mr. Shun, would like to meet with you tomorrow morning at the villa to discuss the details. Would that be convenient for you?" Ethan checked his mental schedule. Tomorrow was free. He agreed to the time and hung up. He hoped the price for the Cloud9 villa would be high. The cash back would be incredible. After a quick shower, he chatted with Elaine and Nina for a bit before drifting off to sleep. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, waking him. Another day alive. He opened the curtains and looked out at the bustling city below. He had once been one of those people, rushing and struggling. The system had changed everything. After getting ready, he took one last look in the mirror. So handsome, he muttered to himself with a grin. He checked the time and headed downstairs. It wouldn't do to be late for his meeting with the head of the Shin family. The drive was smooth, and he soon arrived at his destination. Sam's son was waiting at the gate and jogged over to open his car door. "Mr. Yi, you're here. One moment, I'll let them know." After a quick confirmation with security, the gates opened. Ethan followed Sam's directions to Villa number 6. After parking, Sam rang the doorbell. A moment later, the door opened, and a little girl about 10 years old peeked out, her big eyes looking at them with curiosity. "Wow, big brother, you're so pretty. I like you. Can you play with me?" A man appeared in the doorway behind her. He was tall and handsome, with deep, intelligent eyes that looked at the girl with immense love, though a deep weariness was etched on his face. "Mia, these are Daddy's friends. Why don't you go play for a bit? Daddy has to talk about work. I'll play with you later, okay?" Mia looked at Ethan with a pout, nodded slowly, and reluctantly walked away. The man, Shun, then turned to Ethan, his surprise evident. This villa was worth 1 billion yuan. The young man before him had to have an extraordinary background. You must be Mr. Yi. I'm Shun, he said, composing himself. I didn't expect you to be so young. Truly remarkable. Please, don't mind my daughter's forwardness. Not at all, Mr. Shun. Your daughter is adorable. Ethan was equally surprised. He had expected the head of a major family to be a man in his 50s, at least. Sean led them to his study and served tea before getting down to business. Mr. Yi, Sam mentioned you're interested in purchasing this villa. As you may know, the Cloud9 villas are the most exclusive properties in Shanghai. My family originally purchased it for 800 million yuan. With the increase in property values, it's now worth over 1 billion. If you are willing to buy it, I'm prepared to sell it for the original price of 800 million. Ethan couldn't let that happen. That was a huge amount of cash back he'd be missing. Mr. Shun, I'm not one to take advantage of someone's situation, he said quickly. Let's agree on a price of 1 billion yuan. Without waiting for a reply, Ethan got Sean's account details and transferred the 1 billion yuan. The system's voice chimed in his mind. Congratulations, host. You spent 1 billion yuan. A cashback of 100 billion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Ethan looked at the long string of numbers in his global bank account. His heart pounded. There were many billionaires in the country, but very few with 100 billion in liquid cash. Shin stared at the transaction notification on his phone, completely stunned. The funds had been transferred from a personal account at Global Bank. An individual with such a high transfer limit could only be a supreme black card holder. This mysterious Mr. Yi had an incredibly powerful background. Ethan handed over the rest of the transfer paperwork to Sam's son. He was very pleased with Sam's efficiency, even if his constant flattery was a bit much. Mr. Shun, Ethan began. Sam mentioned your family is facing some issues with your cash flow. If you don't mind sharing, perhaps I can help. With his newfound wealth, Ethan was looking to acquire some assets. This was a perfect opportunity to use the system. Sean's eyes lit up. He knew Ethan possessed an astonishing amount of liquid capital and had hoped to leverage his strength to save the Shin family. Mr. Yi, if you don't mind, I'll call you Brother Yi. It's a long story. A few years ago, the Shin family business was thriving, valued at 50 billion yuan. Much of that success was due to my younger sister, Luna Shun. She has a brilliant mind for business. In just 2 years, she doubled the company's market value. The Fang family, one of the 4 great families of Shanghai, took notice of her talent and wanted to arrange a marriage between her and their worthless youngest son, Felix Fang. My father was vehemently opposed. During one of Felix's persistent attempts to harass my sister, she kicked him, injuring him so severely that he can no longer have children. After that, the Fang family launched a ruthless campaign against us. They attacked our businesses from all sides, and the pressure caused my father to have a fatal heart attack. Our 2 families are now sworn enemies. Sean looked at Ethan seriously. Brother Yi, if you help the Shin family, you will undoubtedly become an enemy of the Fangs. You should consider this carefully. Ethan appreciated Sean's honesty. It removed any lingering doubts he had. He was intrigued by the story of the brilliant Luna Shun, and as for making an enemy of the Fang family, he wasn't afraid. What was the point of having a system if he had to cower in fear? Brother Shin, I've decided to invest in your company. How much capital do you need? A jolt of energy shot through Sean. He hadn't really expected Ethan to agree. Going up against a behemoth like the Fang family for the sake of the Shuns was an incredibly risky move. Brother Yi, thank you. The Shin family's current market value is around 35 billion yuan. If you invest 10 billion, I am willing to give you a 35% stake in the company. Brother Shin, have your legal team draw up the contract. The funds are ready to be transferred at any time. Sean immediately contacted his lawyers. Soon, the share transfer agreement was delivered to the villa. Ethan reviewed it, signed his name, and transferred 10 billion yuan. Brother Yi, I am eternally grateful. I promise, I will not let you down. As the deal closed, Ethan felt a flicker of confusion. He had spent 10 billion, but the system had been silent. System, why was there no cash back? He asked internally. The host has made an investment, which does not fall under the category of consumption. Therefore, no cash back will be awarded. You could have told me that earlier. The host did not ask. You insolent child. Tell me, how can I make investments and acquisitions count as consumption? Once the host's accumulated cashback reaches 10 trillion yuan, the system will upgrade. At that point, all expenditures will be eligible for rewards. Rewards will be issued in the form of points, with 1 point awarded for every 100 million yuan spent. A point shop will also be unlocked. Please continue to work hard, host. Ending his conversation with the system, Ethan and the others left the study. The moment Mia saw him, she ran over and gave him a hug. Big brother, are you done talking with daddy? Can you play with me now? Sean looked at his daughter gently. Mia, daddy has sold this house to Uncle Ethan. We need to pack our things and move to our other home. Big brother, can I still come here to play sometimes? Mia asked, her eyes wide with hope. Ethan knelt down and stroked her head. Mia, you can come here whenever you want. You'll always be welcome. Brother Shun, there's no rush. Take your time packing. I won't be moving in right away. You're the best, big brother, Mia said, planting a small kiss on Ethan's cheek. After playing with her for a while, Ethan took his leave. Back in his car, he booked a first-class flight to Jinshanng for 10 the next morning. The thought of seeing his parents and sister again filled him with excitement. First, he needed to pick up some gifts. He drove to Wanda Plaza and went straight to the Patek Philippe boutique. The sales associate, Chloe Mo, recognized him immediately and greeted him warmly. She vividly remembered the handsome young man who had casually purchased a 7 million yuan watch. Welcome back, Mr. Yi. I'm Chloe. It's a pleasure to see you again. Ethan remembered her. I need you to recommend 2 watches for me, he said. One for a middle-aged man, and one for a young woman. After a moment's thought, Chloe led him to a display case. Mr. Yi, this Patek Philippe is perfect for your requirements. It has a classic, understated design and is made from the finest materials. It's not only incredibly precise, but also shockproof and waterproof. The price is 5 million yuan. I'll take it. Now for the women's watch. Right this way, Mr. Yi. This model, the Vibrant Youth, was designed specifically for young women. Its pink exterior exudes youth and energy. And of course, the Patek Philippe name is a guarantee of quality. This one is priced at 8 million yuan. Ethan studied the watch. It would be perfect for Elaine, and it would also suit Nina. He realized he hadn't given Nina a proper gift yet. I like it, he said. I'll take 2. Please wrap them separately. Chloe quickly returned with 3 gift boxes, a blue one for the men's watch and 2 pink ones for the women's. Ethan paid and left, leaving a dazed Chloe staring after him. Chloe, stop staring. He's long gone, another associate said. A young, rich, handsome guy like that is out of our league. I know. I was just fantasizing, Chloe sighed. But a guy that good-looking and generous. Who wouldn't like him? Ethan hadn't gone far. He was now contemplating a gift for his mother. As he wandered through the mall, he spotted a high-end jewelry store and decided to go inside. Welcome to Defu Jewelry, sir. Please feel free to look around, or I can assist you if you have something in mind, a sales associate said warmly. It was Ethan's first time in a jewelry store, so he accepted her offer. I'd like to buy a jadeite bangle for my mother. Could you show me some options? Of course, sir. Please follow me. She led him to a display case filled with a dazzling array of bangles. He had no idea where to start. Sensing his uncertainty, the associate pointed one out. Sir, this bright green bangle is very suitable for a middle-aged woman. After a brief education on jadeite, Ethan browsed the selection, with prices ranging from tens to hundreds of thousands of yuan. A sudden thought struck him. If his mother found out he bought his father a 5 million yuan watch and only got her a bangle worth a few hundred thousand, her reaction would be terrifying. He shivered. Do you have anything of a higher quality? Something over 5 million yuan, he asked the associate. Please wait a moment, sir. We have an ice variety jadeite bangle that fits your criteria. I'll need to get the store manager's approval to show it to you. A few minutes later, the associate and the manager returned, carefully carrying a brocade box. The manager placed it gingerly on the counter. Sir, this is the ice variety jadeite bangle you requested. Ethan examined it. The stone was smooth and lustrous, with a soft glow under the lights. It was so translucent, he could see the delicate patterns within. Suddenly, a fleshy woman pushed her way to the counter, snatched the bangle, and tried to slip it on her wrist. Ma'am, this gentleman was looking at that bangle first, the sales associate said urgently. So what? He hasn't paid for it. It's on my wrist now, so it's mine. How much is it? I'll buy it, the woman declared arrogantly. Darling, this bangle is the only thing worthy of you, cooed a handsome young man in his early 20s standing beside her. Ethan had to suppress a wave of nausea. He couldn't believe the young man could call her that with a straight face. He was clearly a kept man. You know what? Let the lady have it. I'm not interested anymore, Ethan said, disgusted by the thought of buying something the woman had touched. But it was about to get worse. Smart boy, the woman said, giving him a lewd wink. Interested in working for me? As long as you've got the stamina, I guarantee you a new car in a year and a house in 5. Think about it. Ethan couldn't hold it in any longer. He turned to a nearby trash can and retched. You fat pig, he finally spat out. You're disgusting. Get lost. The woman flew into a rage. She hated being called fat more than anything. She lunged at him, but Ethan sidestepped, and she slammed into the wall. The young man rushed to help her up. Darling, are you okay? Let me see. She slapped him across the face. What are you waiting for? Get him. Beat him until his own mother can't recognize him. The young man charged. But Ethan dispatched him with a single kick. Seeing this, the woman lost her nerve. You've got guts, kid. But one day, you'll fall into my hands. Oh really? Ethan asked, amused. You must be quite powerful. What do you do? I'm in the funeral business, kid. Scared now? Huh. Ethan immediately jumped back. The woman was seriously bad luck. She kicked the young man still playing dead on the floor. Stop faking it, and let's go. He scrambled to his feet. but the store manager blocked their path. Ma'am, that bangle is 8 million yuan. Will that be cash or card? What? That much? Seeing the store's staff closing in, the woman reluctantly paid and scurried away. Ethan turned back to the manager. Do you have any bangles of that quality, or even better? The manager considered for a moment. We do, but not in this store. Our main Shanghai branch has an emperor green bangle, but the price is 100 million yuan. If you're interested, I can have it sent over, but we would need to verify your funds first. I hope you understand. Ethan didn't mind. He opened his banking app and showed the manager his balance. The manager froze, his eyes wide. He quickly ushered Ethan into the VIP room. Half an hour later, a team of security guards arrived with an exquisite case. In the VIP room, a distinguished middle-aged man carefully opened it. Mr. Yi, I'm Jerry Zhu, the director of DeFu Jewelry for the Shanghai region. Thank you for choosing us. This is a glass variety emperor green bangle. Please have a look. The bangle inside was nearly transparent, with a deep, rich green color. Its surface was as smooth as a mirror. It lay in the box like a work of art. Ethan knew instantly it was the one. Mr. Zhu, I'll take it. It's perfect. I'll pay by card. He tossed his black card to Jerry and continued admiring the bangle. Congratulations, host. You spent 100 million yuan. A cash back of 10 billion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Ethan took his card and the carefully packaged bangle and left. Back in his car, he safely stowed away his purchases, leaving only one pink gift box on the passenger seat before driving to Shanghai University. He sent Nina a text, and a few minutes later, she came running out and jumped into his arms. Ethan, I missed you, she chirped. After a long hug, he handed her the gift. Guess what's inside? I'm not guessing. I'll love whatever you give me, she said with a grin. They walked hand in hand through campus, enjoying the quiet evening. Ethan bought them 2 lemonades, and they sat down on a bench. Nina, my flight is tomorrow morning. I'm going home for a few days. Then I won't see you for a while, she said, pouting. You have to promise to think of me, and you can't ignore my texts. Ethan smiled and stroked her hair. It felt good to be cared for. Of course I won't ignore you. You're so cute. I'll be thinking about you all the time. Nina leaned her head on his shoulder, her face glowing with happiness. Ethan, I wish I were older. If I were your age, I could have met you sooner, and I could marry you sooner. He tightened his arm around her waist. She was such a silly girl. He thought to himself, for me, the world is just scenery, but you are the mountain I look up to. I'll never let you go. They sat there in comfortable silence, their hearts close, saying more than words ever could. As the sky darkened, they both spoke at the same time. Let's go get dinner. They laughed. It was funny how you could know someone for years and feel distant, yet meet someone new and feel like you've known them forever. Since you have to catch a flight tomorrow, let me treat you to the cafeteria tonight, Nina suggested. I used to dream about eating in the cafeteria with you. Be warned, I have a big appetite. It's going to cost you. Ethan joked. They walked to the cafeteria, earning admiring glances from other students. A handsome guy and a beautiful girl. They looked like they were made for each other. What do you want to eat, Ethan? I'll have a steamer of xylong and a bowl of egg drop soup. One moment, esteemed guest. Your server will be right back, she said with a bow, then skipped off to the counter. What a character, Ethan thought. Life with her would certainly be full of joy. She returned with their food. Esteemed guest, your xylong and egg drop soup. Please enjoy. You like xylong too? Ethan asked, surprised to see she had gotten the same thing. He figured most girls preferred things like noodle soup. I wanted to try what you like to eat, she said earnestly. It's a shame they don't have Jincheng-style jimbingguozi here, or I would have tried that too. Her simple sincerity warmed his heart. After dinner, Nina insisted he go home and rest for his flight. So he walked her back to her dorm. When Nina returned to her room, her 3 roommates immediately surrounded her. So how was the date? Give us the details. Did you guys kiss? Shannon, however, noticed the pink gift box in her hand. Nina, is that a gift from Senior Ethan? Open it. Under their combined pressure, Nina opened the box. Inside was an exquisite pink watch. Bella's eyes went wide. Nina, that's a Patek Philippe. That's a top-tier luxury watch. Crystal immediately looked it up on her phone. Nina, it's the new Patek Philippe Vibrant Youth model. It costs 8 million yuan. Wow, Nina, looks like Senior Ethan is loaded. You have to treat us to something good now. I want loasafen with extra pork knuckle. Nina was also in shock. 8 million yuan. Ethan was that generous? Bella, Shannon, Crystal, I can't accept this. It's too expensive. I want to give it back to him. I'm with him because I like him, not for his money. The other 3 nodded in agreement. Later that night, Ethan was scrolling through videos on his phone when he received a message from Nina. Ethan, the gift you gave me is too expensive. I can't accept it. I want to return it. He sighed. He never imagined his first gift to her would be rejected for being too valuable. He carefully composed a reply. Nina, I'm not sure if you're rejecting the gift or rejecting me. When I chose that watch, my first thought was that it would look perfect on you. I wasn't thinking about its value. I want to give you everything that I think suits you. It's not about the money. It's because you're my girlfriend, and I want to share things with you. Ethan, I'm not rejecting you. It's just too much. If I accept it, I'll feel like I'm only with you for your money. Nina, I know what kind of person you are. I would never think that. If you don't accept it, I'll have to give it to someone else. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you? After a bit more persuasion, Nina reluctantly agreed to keep it. Women were so complicated, he thought, before finally falling asleep. The next morning, Ethan got up early, packed his things, and took a taxi to the airport. After clearing security, a flight attendant guided him to his seat in first class. He snapped a selfie and sent it to Nina. On the plane, don't worry about me. Then he settled in to rest. Nearby, a few flight attendants were chatting. Lily, I just saw the cutest guy in first class. Those deep eyes, that perfect nose. If I didn't have a boyfriend, I'd be all over him. Want me to switch sections with you? One of them, Hong, said. Really, Hong? I'll go check him out. I love looking at handsome guys, another replied. I guarantee you'll fall for him. And he's dressed well, probably rich. Lily, this is your chance. A short while later, the plane took off. As it leveled out, Ethan heard footsteps approaching. He opened his eyes to see a flight attendant with a pretty face that was both delicate and alluring. Sir, can I get you something to drink? We have tea, red wine, orange juice, and soda. Ethan looked at her, a flicker of recognition in his mind. Molly, he asked tentatively. She looked closer at him, her eyes widening in surprise. Ethan, hey, old classmate, he said with a smile. Long time no see. Yeah, it's been what, for years since graduation? You look like you've done well for yourself. Decked out in Armani, you big shot. Don't tease me, he said. Are you interning here? Yep, for the last 3 months. I'll be hired full-time after I graduate. Hey, give me your number. I need to keep in touch with my rich friends, she said with a wink. After exchanging contact information, Molly brought him an orange juice and made him promise to treat her to a lavish dinner before she went back to her duties. Ethan leaned back in his seat, lost in thought. He and Molly had been classmates, even desk mates, in high school. During those hectic, vibrant years, they had become best friends, helping each other out and teasing each other relentlessly. But then Molly confessed her feelings for him, and he had turned her down. That, combined with her parents' divorce, had caused her to become more withdrawn, and their friendship had slowly faded. In the galley, Hong nudged Molly. So, isn't he handsome? This is your chance, Molly. Molly gave a wry smile. The flower may be willing, but the stream flows on. He was my desk mate. I confessed to him once, but he rejected me. He said he only saw me as a friend. We haven't spoken in 4 years. Seeing him now, I think I'm over it. It's good to just be friends. 2.5 hours later, the plane landed safely in Jincheng. Ethan said a quick goodbye to Molly and deplaned. Stepping out of the airport, he breathed in the familiar air of his hometown. It wasn't the cleanest, but it was full of nostalgia. Home was an anchor for every wanderer, a place of longing no matter how far they strayed. He got in a taxi and headed home. Standing at his front door, he took a deep breath to calm his racing heart, then knocked. His mother's familiar nagging voice came from inside. Who is it? At this hour? Perfect timing. I just finished making lunch. The door opened, and his mother froze, staring at him. A moment later, she pulled him inside, her voice a mix of joy and complaint. You brat. You didn't even tell me you were coming home. You think you're all grown up now, huh? Have you eaten? Come on, I just made egg noodles. You eat this first, and I'll see what else I can whip up. She started for the kitchen, but he stopped her. Mom, it's okay. I haven't had your egg noodles in ages. This is perfect. All right then. What do you want for dinner tonight? I'll make it for you. Your sister Elaine is going to be ecstatic when she finds out you're back. She's been asking about you every single day, driving me crazy. Though her words were complaining, her face was beaming with happiness. Mom, don't worry about dinner. We're going out tonight. My treat. Your son has struck it rich. Son, aren't you still doing your internship? What do you mean you've struck it rich? She asked, confused. I had some Bitcoin from a while back, Mom. The price went up, so I sold it. How much could that be worth? You keep your money. Mom has enough. I'll treat you tonight, she said, dismissing the unfamiliar concept of cryptocurrency. Where's Elaine? That girl is always out playing. Never helps around the house. I think she went to the beach with her friends today. After eating, Ethan stretched out on the living room sofa. This had been his bed for years. Their apartment was only about 900 square feet with 2 bedrooms. When they were little, he and Elaine had shared a room. As she got older, he had moved to the sofa. It was later replaced with a sofa bed so he could sleep more comfortably. He now had over 100 billion yuan in his account. Tomorrow, he was going to buy his family a villa and a car. That was a good idea. He checked the time. It was still early. He could go buy a car right now. Mom, I'm heading out for a bit. I'll be back before dinner. You just got here and you're already leaving. Be safe. Ethan took a taxi to the Jincheng Prestige Auto Mall, a massive luxury car dealership. He walked inside and started browsing. It was a weekday, so the showroom was mostly empty. Ethan, you're back. You didn't even call me so we could grab a drink. What are you doing here? Looking to buy a car? I'm a salesman here. If you see anything you like, I'll get you a discount from my boss. Ethan turned and saw his childhood friend, Leo Wei. They shared a quick, firm hug. I just got into town today, man. I can't believe I ran into you here. Come on, let's walk and talk. I'll show you around before my manager sees me slacking off. So, Leo, what kind of high-end cars do you have here? Show me the good stuff. You're in luck. We just got a supercar in. An Aston Martin 1-77. One of the top supercars in the world. Only one word to describe it. Expensive. Come on, I'll take you upstairs. On the second floor, a silver supercar immediately caught Ethan's eye. Leo began his pitch. This is it. The Aston Martin 1-77. It's got a 7.3-liter V12 engine, 760 horsepower, goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.5 seconds, with a top speed of 354. The performance is insane. But what's even more insane is the price, 50 million yuan. I couldn't earn that in 10 lifetimes. Leo, can I get the keys? I want to sit inside, Ethan said, already deciding he wanted it. Hold on, Ethan. Let me ask my manager. I don't have the authority for this car, but I'll see what I can do. Leo hurried off towards the manager's office. After waiting for a few minutes, Ethan got impatient and walked towards the office himself. As he approached the door, he heard the manager yelling at his friend. Who do you think you are? Letting your friend take a look? Do you have any idea how much that car costs? We could sell you and not even cover a scratch. That car is not for a bum like you or your friends to even look at. Know your place and get out. Hearing his friend being insulted because of him, Ethan's anger boiled over. He kicked the office door open. You son of a bitch. Say one more word about my friend and I swear I'll break you. Leo rushed over and grabbed him. Ethan, don't. It's not worth it. I'm fine. Let's just go. We can't afford to mess with this guy. Seeing Ethan being held back, the manager, Frank Wu, grew bold. Kid, do you know where you are? You think you can cause trouble here? You must have a death wish. And you, Leo, you're fired. Get out of my sight right now. Hearing that Leo was fired sealed it. Ethan shook off his friend's grip and sent a powerful kick straight into Frank's chest, sending him sprawling to the floor. The sounds of the argument and fight on the second floor quickly drew a crowd of onlookers. The dealership's security guards finally arrived, though they had deliberately taken their time. They weren't fond of their manager, Frank Wu, and had no problem letting Ethan get a few licks in. Seeing the guards, Frank pointed a trembling finger at Ethan. What are you waiting for? Get him. Beat him up. If you don't, you're all fired. The guards exchanged glances, but none of them moved. The head of security stepped forward. Mr. Wu, the conflict is over. We have no authority to assault a customer. Frank's face contorted with rage, but he was speechless. At that moment, a middle-aged man with a serious expression walked into the center of the commotion. Can someone tell me what's going on here? He demanded. Frank scrambled over to the man, his voice thick with fake tears. Mr. Qian, this Leo and this kid came here causing trouble, and they attacked me. You have to stand up for me. The newcomer was Qin Xian, the owner of the dealership. Despite his scholarly appearance, he was a well-known figure from the city's underworld who had successfully gone legitimate. Qin looked at Ethan and Leo. Young man, I need an explanation. A palpable pressure emanated from him, but Ethan stood his ground, meeting his gaze. Mr. Qian, I've heard stories about you. I came here today to buy a car with my friend. This man, Frank Wu, insulted both of us. That wasn't right. I admit, hitting him was wrong, and I'm willing to compensate for it. Qin looked at Ethan with a hint of admiration. The young man was holding his own under his intimidating presence and speaking with clear logic. He then turned his gaze to Frank. Frank quickly blurted out, Mr. Qian, this kid wanted to see the Aston Martin 1-77. There's no way he could afford it, so I refused. Is that true, young man? Qin asked Ethan. Do you also think I can't afford it, Mr. Qian? I was planning to buy it, but now, I've changed my mind, Ethan said, his voice firm. Are you admitting you were just here to cause trouble? Or are you playing games with me? Playing games? No. I just have one question for you, Mr. Qian. Is your dealership for sale? Name your price. I'll buy it. This dealership is worth about 1 billion yuan, young man. Are you sure? Qin was no longer just impressed. He was intrigued. He couldn't figure out where Ethan's confidence came from. I'll offer 5 billion for it, Mr. Qian. Is that price satisfactory? Qin looked into Ethan's eyes and saw that he was completely serious. Young brother, I can tell you don't actually care about this dealership. Why do you want to buy it? Because of him. I want to get rid of him. Is it worth it? It is. Hearing Ethan's unwavering response, Qin nodded, satisfied. Bow. He called out to a muscular man standing nearby. Break one of Wu's legs and throw him out of Jincheng. A scream echoed through the showroom, and Frank was dragged away. Qin smiled. Now you have no reason to buy the place. But you're still welcome to buy a car. Young brother, would you care to join me in my office for a cup of tea? One moment, Mr. Qian. Let me have my friend complete the purchase for me first, so it doesn't look like I was just causing trouble. Ethan handed his card to Leo, telling him to buy a Bentley Bentayga and the Aston Martin 1-77. Then he followed Quinn to his office. After pouring Ethan a cup of tea, Quinn spoke. Young brother, I admire you. You remind me of myself when I was young, loyal, bold, and responsible. I know it's unlikely you'd come work for me, so I'd like to be friends instead. Ethan had been thinking the same thing. Since he was based in Shanghai, it would be good to have a powerful friend in Jincheng to look after his parents if needed. He readily agreed. Haha, from now on, I'll call you Brother Yi, and you can call me Brother Qian. If you ever run into trouble in Jincheng, just let me know. I may not have influence elsewhere, but here, my name still carries some weight. As a man who had navigated the treacherous underworld for over a decade, Quinn was an excellent judge of character. He could tell Ethan was destined for great things. Befriending him now would surely pay off in the future. He had no idea just how right he was. Brother Qian, you're also in the real estate business. Do you have any good villa recommendations? As a matter of fact, I developed a villa complex at East Lake Resort. Go take a look tomorrow. Whichever one you like, it's a gift from me. Brother Qian, I can just buy it. It's not that much money. All right, it's not like you're short on cash. Brother Yi, stay for dinner tonight. Let's have a drink. I've got a special bottle saved. I can't tonight, Brother Qian. I just got back from Shanghai and promised to have dinner with my parents. I'll treat you another time. Deal? I'll be waiting. Huh? After chatting for a while longer, Ethan left. Outside the office, Leo ran up to him. Ethan, you big shot. When did you get so rich? Here's your card back. And thanks to you, I just made a 1.5 million yuan commission on those 2 cars. I owe you a big dinner. You got it. Once I'm free, I'll definitely take you up on that. And you'd better work hard. Brother Qian just told me he's promoting you to sales manager. I definitely will. You go on. I have to go tell my fiancée the good news. The dowry, the house. It's all settled now. Ethan arranged for a staff member to drive the Bentley to his home, while he drove the Aston Martin, speeding through the city streets. Back at his apartment building, he tipped the driver 1,000 yuan, who left with a stream of thanks. When he got home, his father was already there, tending to his plants on the balcony. You brat, you didn't even tell me you were coming. I would have picked you up from the airport, his father said with a grin, patting him on the shoulder. Hey, you old man, his mother yelled from the laundry room. You just finished with your dirty plants, and now you're touching my son. You get his clothes dirty, you're washing them. His father scurried off to wash his hands, and Ethan burst out laughing. A moment later, Elaine came through the door and immediately threw her arms around him. You mean it? You came back and didn't even tell me. I wouldn't have gone out today if I'd known. All right, I brought you a present. Want to see? Elaine let go of him. Where is it? Show me. I knew you were the best brother. Ethan pulled the gift boxes from beside the sofa and placed them on the table. His parents gathered around, and Elaine's eyes lit up at the sight of the 3 elegant boxes. Brother, is the pink one for me? Pink is my favorite, she exclaimed, snatching it up. Mom, Dad, these are for you. His parents took the gifts, their faces filled with Xinwei. Their son was all grown up, thinking of his parents. Elaine had already opened her box, her eyes glued to the exquisite watch inside. She immediately started taking pictures to post on her social media, showing off her brother's affection. Dad, Mom, open yours. Look how beautiful my watch is. His father opened his box and put on the watch, his happiness impossible to hide. His mother opened hers to reveal a vibrant green bangle. She slipped it on, her love for it evident, but then quickly took it off. Ethan, this must have been very expensive. I'm old. I don't need to wear things like this. You should return it and save the money for when you get married. And you, she said, turning to his father. Take that off right now? A grown man, taking things from his child. His father reluctantly removed the watch and placed it back in its box, just as Ethan was trying to figure out how to persuade them. Elaine shrieked. Brother, my friend says this watch you gave me is a Patek Philippe. It's worth 2.8 million yuan, she said, staring at him in disbelief. And it's not just yours, Ethan replied calmly. Dad's is a Patek Philippe too, and it's even more expensive. His mother looked at him, her expression turning serious. Ethan, you're not involved in anything illegal, are you? Don't worry, Mom, the money is all legitimate. Elaine, why don't you explain Bitcoin to them? After Elaine's explanation, his parents were in a state of shock, unable to believe that a single Bitcoin could be worth so much. Elaine leaned in close to Ethan. Brother, how much was Mom's bangle? She whispered. A small goal, he said with a wink, then announced it was time to go to dinner. Elaine's eyes were now fixed on her mother's wrist, sparkling with awe. It was like looking at a walking 100 million yuan. Downstairs, Ethan stopped his parents as they were about to walk off. Mom, Dad, I bought Dad a car this afternoon. We can drive there. Which one is it, brother? Elaine asked excitedly. Ethan simply gestured with his chin. Following his gaze, Elaine spotted a Volkswagen Beetle and ran towards it. Brother, a Beetle. Ethan facepalmed as he watched his sister fawning over the wrong car. He walked over, pulled her away by the ear, and pressed the key fob. A white Bentley Bentayga nearby lit up. Ow, that hurts, brother. Elaine whined. Whoa, a Bentley. Can you get me one too, brother? Sure. As soon as you get your driver's license, I'll buy you one. Elaine, you're too young to be asking for a car. And Ethan, you spoil her too much, his mother chided. Amidst the playful bickering, his father drove them to the Jincheng Guild Hall, one of the city's top restaurants. Hello, we'd like a private room, please, Ethan said to the hostess. Sir, our private rooms have a minimum spending requirement. If your party isn't large, I would recommend a table in the main dining area, she said politely. A private room is fine. We prefer a quiet environment. Once seated, Ethan didn't bother with the menu and simply ordered the 188,888 yuan set meal. The food arrived quickly, a spectacular spread of delicacies. Elaine was practically drooling, while his mother shot him disapproving looks for his extravagance. His father, on the other hand, was all smiles. Throughout the meal, Ethan kept placing food on his parents' plates. Mom, Dad, eat more. Try this Wagyu beef. And Mom, drink your bird's nest soup. If you like it, I'll order more. Elaine, meanwhile, was viciously stabbing a roast suckling pig with her lobster fork, shooting him resentful looks for not serving her. Mom, Dad, I was thinking we could go look at houses tomorrow. I've already arranged it. There's a place at East Lake Resort. I bought the car so it would be easier for you to get around from there. All right, we'll go look tomorrow, his mother agreed. It's about time we picked out a house for your wedding. The way you spend money, you'll go broke before you know it. Good choice, brother. Elaine piped up. My friend lives there. It's really nice, with a resort, an amusement park, and a hot spring hotel. And it's only half an hour from the city. I heard they're planning to extend the subway line there next year. You seem to know a lot about it, Ethan said. Mom, let me transfer you some money. You're always so reluctant to spend. Your son is rich now, so you can spend as much as you want. I'll just send you more when you run out. He transferred 20 million yuan to his mother's account, not wanting to send more and give her a heart attack. His father was giving him frantic signals from across the table. Ethan gave him a reassuring look and sent him 2 million as well. Seeing Elaine's expectant face, he sent her 500,000. It wasn't good for a young girl to have too much cash on hand. After dinner, his mother wanted to pack up the leftovers, but Ethan stopped her. With his net worth, his mother shouldn't have to eat leftovers. Back home, his parents went to bed early, but he and Elaine stayed up talking. Brother, today felt so unreal, she confessed. I'm scared I'll wake up and it will all be a dream, and you'll be back in Shanghai. But I'm also scared that it is real, and you'll get busier and busier and won't have time for me anymore. Silly girl, what are you talking about? Of course I'll always have time for you. We're family. If you ever have any problems, you have to tell me. I can help you with anything now. Thanks, brother. You should get some rest too. I'm going to bed. Ethan smiled. His little sister was growing up. He lay on the sofa, chatted with Nina for a while, and then fell asleep. He was truly exhausted. The next morning, he was jolted awake by Elaine. It was barely 7 o'clock. Elaine, it's only 7. Be quiet. I need more sleep, he groaned. But we're going to buy a big house today. I'm too excited. Get up. Doesn't my dress look pretty today? He mumbled that it was pretty without even opening his eyes. His mother came out and dragged Elaine away. Your brother just got off a plane yesterday and hasn't had any rest. Go back to your room and let him sleep. Elaine stuck out her tongue and tiptoed away. It was past 9 when Ethan finally woke up. Under Elaine's relentless urging, he quickly got ready, and after a quick breakfast, the family set off. His father was already waiting in the car. Ethan, this car is amazing. I never thought I'd be able to drive a Bentley in my lifetime, he said with a laugh. Look at you showing off. It's all thanks to our son. Let's get going, his mother said. Ethan pulled out another key. I'll drive the other one. I bought 2 cars yesterday. As Ethan walked over to the Aston Martin 1-77, Elaine jumped out of the Bentley, ran to the supercar, and hopped into the passenger seat. Mom, Dad, you guys go ahead. I'm riding with my brother, she yelled. Inside the car, Elaine marveled at the luxurious interior. Brother, this car must have been really expensive, right? I've seen online that supercars cost millions. How much was this one? Seeing his money-obsessed sister, Ethan decided a little education was in order. This is an Aston Martin 1-77. It costs 50 million yuan. And you, little girl, need to stop thinking about these things. Don't worry, when you get your license, I'll buy you a supercar too. That way, no one will be able to easily trick you into running away with them. I knew you were the best brother, she squealed. The drive to East Lake Resort wasn't long. He remembered coming here with his parents as a child, before the resort was built, to dig for clams. The East Lake villas were situated by a tranquil lake, surrounded by lush trees, a perfect escape from the city. They walked into the sales center. The opulent decor made his parents a little hesitant, but Elaine was buzzing with excitement. A few saleswomen with heavy makeup were gathered together, chatting, and no one came to greet them. Brother, come look at this one. Elaine called out. The location is perfect. You can see the whole lake from the yard. Let's go see it in person. Ethan looked at the model on the display table. The location was indeed excellent. He called out to the saleswomen. Excuse me, could you show us this villa? The women looked at them with disdain. clearly thinking it would be a waste of time. Ethan's brow furrowed, and he was about to lose his temper, when a young, nervous-looking girl hurried over. Sir, if you don't mind, I can show you the villa. I'm new, so I'm not very familiar with everything yet. Ethan looked at the girl. She couldn't be much older than a high school student, probably a summer intern. He saw her name tag. Sue. That would be great, Sue. Please, lead the way. The other saleswomen snickered. Sue, don't bother. They can't afford a villa. They're probably just here for the free gifts. Sue ignored them and asked Ethan politely. Sir, may I have your last name? It's Yi, and you look about the same age as my sister. You don't need to be so nervous. Mr. Yi, I am a student, just working here for the summer. Please wait a moment, I'll get a golf cart. She returned a moment later and drove them to Villa number 8. The exterior was a simple, modern design, with white walls that blended harmoniously with the natural surroundings. Mr. Yi, this is the villa you saw on the model, Sue said, opening the door. The interior was equally modern and minimalist, with high-quality furniture and decor. The living room was spacious and bright, with floor-to-ceiling windows. The bedrooms were cozy, the kitchen fully equipped, and the bathrooms sleek and clean. The garden was beautifully designed, with winding paths and a small fountain. Mr. Yi, Villa number 8 is the largest and has the best view in the entire complex. It's also fully furnished, so you can move in right away. All the furniture, appliances, and materials are top of the line. That's why the price is so high, and why it's still available. His parents didn't say anything, but he could see in their eyes that they loved it. Elaine was already running around, touching everything. Ethan made his decision. Sue will take it. Let's go back and sign the contract. Sue thought she had misheard. Mr. Yi, are you saying you want to buy this villa? Yes. Let's go sign the contract. I'll pay in full. Sue literally jumped for joy. This was her first sale, and it was a 50 million yuan deal. This commission would cover her tuition and make life much easier for her and her mother. Realizing her unprofessionalism, she blushed. I'm so sorry, Mr. Yi. I was just so excited. This is my first sale. It's okay, Ethan said with a smile. Let's go. Just try not to be too excited when you're driving. I'd rather not take a swim in East Lake. Back at the sales center, the other saleswomen started their taunts again. Back so soon. The luxury of Villa 8 must have scared them off. Yeah, they're lucky they even got to see it. Actually, Mr. Yi has decided to buy Villa 8. We're back to sign the contract, Sue announced proudly. The other women stared in disbelief, their faces a mixture of shock and envy. A short while later, Sue returned with the sales manager, Aaron Wong. Mr. Yi, I'm Aaron Wong. The contract is ready. If you'll please follow me to the finance office. In the office, Ethan transferred the 50 million yuan and signed the contract. As they were leaving, he asked, Mr. Wong, the sales commission will go to Ms. Sue, correct? Aaron Wong looked at Ethan and replied smoothly, Of course, Mr. Yi. Rest assured, Sue will receive her full commission. Ethan was worried that as a temporary employee, Sue's commission might be claimed by the manager. He had taken a liking to the hard-working young woman. Mr. Wong, Quinn Qian is a friend of mine. I hope you'll keep your word. After Ethan left, Aaron immediately called Quinn. Mr. Qian, a young man named Ethan, you just purchased Villa number 8. I only found out after the transaction that he was a friend of yours. I failed to offer him the best possible discount. It was my oversight, and I am ready to accept any punishment. Oh, Brother Yi is certainly decisive. We just talked about it yesterday, and he's already bought it. It's not your fault. He's not short on money. Has he left yet? Never mind. I'll just call him myself. Aaron hung up, wiping a bead of sweat from his forehead. He had almost offended a very important person. Any thought he'd had of pocketing the commission vanished. He would make sure Sue received the highest possible rate. Meanwhile, Ethan was about to leave when he got a call from Quinn. Haha, Brother Yi. My people tell me you bought Villa number 8 today. Excellent choice. That's the best one on the property. And thank you for the business. Brother Qian, don't be a stranger. I should be thanking you for saving such a great house for me. Brother Yi, do you have some time? I'm at the East Lake Golf Course. Care to join me for a round? Sure, Brother Qian. I'm on my way. Ethan told his parents he was meeting a friend. They drove back in the Bentley, but Elaine insisted on tagging along with him. In the car, she was a whirlwind of questions. Brother, where are we going? Do I know this friend of yours? He's at the golf course nearby. You haven't met him, but you've probably heard his name, Ethan said with a strange look. Who is it? Quinn Qian. Brother, is it too late for me to get out of the car? Haha, scared now are you, little sis? Too late. At the golf course, they gave Quinn's name and were directed to a private green. The muscular man, Bao, was standing guard at the entrance. Mr. Yi, just call me Bao. Mr. Qian is inside with a few friends. He knocked, then opened the door for them. Inside, Quinn was playing around with a weary-looking middle-aged man. This is Zach Zhang, from Grand Investment. Brother Yi, you got here fast. And who is this young lady? This is my sister, Brother Qian. She wanted to see a golf course. Let me introduce you. This is Zach Zhang, from Grand Investment. Zach, this is my young brother, Ethan Yi. Don't let his age fool you. His financial resources are formidable. Ethan and Zach shook hands. Just then, a small voice piped up. Grand investment? Sounds like grand betrayer. Ethan shot Elaine a look. How could she say that in front of the man? But Quinn burst out laughing. Grand investment, grand betrayer. That's hilarious. Ethan, your sister is adorable. Zach, you've had such a run of bad luck lately. Maybe it's the name. If everyone is calling you a grand betrayer, how can you succeed? Zach nodded thoughtfully. At his age, he was quite superstitious. Little lady, you've really opened my eyes. I always felt something was off, but I could never put my finger on it. I think I really do need to change the company's name. Quinn invited them to sit. Elaine, sensing they had business to discuss, grabbed a club and started practicing her swing a short distance away. Quinn, I'll be straight with you, Zach said, his voice heavy with resignation. That plot of land in the free trade zone, I can't develop it on my own anymore. See if you can inject some capital and we can develop it together, or I can just transfer it to you. He had spent 3 billion yuan on the land, planning to build a major logistics hub, but a series of failed investments had left him with a severe capital shortage. Zach, that project will probably require a 10 billion yuan investment. I can only free up 3 billion while keeping my own projects running. It looks like you can only contribute 2 billion. That still leaves a 5 billion yuan shortfall. It's a tough situation. Just as they were at an impasse, Ethan spoke up. Brother Qian, Brother Zhang, don't worry. I'll cover the 5 billion, and I can add more if needed. The two men stared at him, stunned. Quinn had estimated Ethan's net worth to be around 1 billion, at most. But 5 billion in cash meant his wealth was on a completely different level. He realized he wasn't just befriending a rising star. He was already in the presence of the sun. Brother Yi, how much more could you add? Zach asked, his voice barely a whisper. Let's say another 10 billion. If that's not enough, we'll figure something out, Ethan said casually. The two men just looked at each other, speechless. In the end, they agreed. Zach would contribute his 2 billion plus the land for a 40% stake. Ethan would invest 5 billion for 35%, and Quinn would invest 3 billion for 25%. Zach would be in charge of managing the project. Brothers, I'm only providing the funds. I'm too lazy for the project management side of things. I'll just collect my dividends, Ethan said. He was heading back to Shanghai soon and didn't want to get too tied up. Brother Yi, tonight, dinner is on me. We're not leaving until we're drunk. And Quinn, you're always talking about your good wine. I expect to taste it tonight. They made plans to meet at Quinn's East Lake Hotel that evening, and then Ethan and Elaine left. On the way home, Elaine looked at him puzzled. Brother Qian doesn't seem as scary as the stories say. He seems more like a professor. He had to be tough to survive back then, Elaine. This is who he really is. Back at home, Elaine regaled her parents with exaggerated tales of her golf adventure, making them laugh. Mom, Dad, guess who I met today? Quinn Qian, the legendary crime boss. Her mother turned to Ethan, her expression anxious. Ethan, the friend you want to see was Quinn Qian? How do you know him? You can't get involved in anything shady. Ethan shot Elaine a warning look before explaining. Mom, I met Brother Qian when I was buying a car. All of his businesses are legitimate now. Don't worry. Yeah, Mom, Brother Qian was super nice today. He was so polite, like a professor. Not scary at all, Elaine added. Hearing this from both her children, their mother relaxed. Her kids were grown now, with their own minds. As evening approached, Ethan left for the East Lake Hotel. The drive was quick. As he parked his car, a young man ran up to him, his eyes glued to the Aston Martin. A young man ran up to him, his eyes glued to the Aston Martin. Bro, is this an Aston Martin 1-77? It's awesome. There are only 5 of these in the country. Can I take a picture? Ethan, amused by the young man's forwardness, tossed him the keys. Fate brought us together. Take some pictures inside. You can even take it for a spin. The young man thanked him profusely, snapped a few photos, and then took the car for a short drive. When he returned, he was beaming. Bro, weren't you afraid I'd just drive off? Man, this car's performance is incredible. My name's Peter Zhao, from Beijing. Ethan could sense a natural confidence about him. He was clearly from a powerful family. Ethan Yi, from Jincheng. Brother Ethan, I have to go, but if you're ever in Beijing, I'll treat you to a great meal. After Peter left, Ethan went into the hotel. In the private room, Zach Zhang greeted him with a hearty laugh. Brother Yi, you're late. You owe us a drink for that. Quinn chimed in. 1 drink isn't enough. Make it 3. I brought 2 bottles of 76 Mao Dai. You'd better drink up. Ethan readily agreed. After they were seated, he stood up, glass in hand. Brothers, my apologies for being late. I'll drink to that. Good man, Zach exclaimed. To be honest, I have to thank you both. If it weren't for you, I would have had to sell that land at a loss. I won't say much more, but if you ever need anything from me, I won't hesitate. Cheers. After 2 strong shots of baijiu, Ethan quickly ate some food to settle his stomach. He wasn't used to drinking so much hard liquor. Seeing his discomfort, the other 2 slowed their pace. Brother Yi, Zach began. I heard you're heading back to Shanghai soon. There's been a lot of talk about the Fang and Shun families going at it again. This time it seems serious. Have you heard anything? Ethan knew this meant Shun had made his move. He wondered if the brilliant Luna Shun was involved yet. Brother Zhang, the Shuns are retaliating this time. They secured a new round of funding, and with Luna Shin on their side, the Fangs are definitely going to take a hit. I'm surprised the Shuns managed to get more funding, but the Fangs are a powerful family. If the Shuns can't secure more capital, they might get swallowed up, Zack mused. Don't worry, Brother Zhang. The Shuns won't lose. If worst comes to worst, I'll just give Sean more funding. I'm actually very curious to see how Luna Shin plans to take down the Fangs. So, it was you who funded them. The Fangs are in for a tough time, but you should be careful of their retaliation. You too. Quinn interrupted. We have good food and fine wine. Why are we talking about the Fangs and Shuns? Let's drink. They all downed another glass. The alcohol was starting to get to Ethan. He was impressed by how his two companions seemed unaffected. Brother Qian, could you reserve the ballroom at the East Lake Hotel for me the day after tomorrow? My sister is having her university acceptance party. Of course, Brother Yi. Consider it done, Quinn said with a smile. After a few more drinks, Ethan was completely drunk. Quinn arranged for him to stay at the hotel for the night. After he was gone, Zack looked at Quinn. That Brother Yi is quite something. I'd estimate his assets at no less than 20 billion, and all in cash. He's a bit green, but he's destined to be a powerhouse. That's why I befriended him, Quinn said. And you managed to get an investment out of him on your first meeting. I did some digging on him, Zack admitted. His parents are ordinary people, and he was just a regular student. But in the last 2 weeks, he suddenly came into an incredible amount of wealth, all from overseas. His background is a mystery. Quinn's expression turned serious. Zack, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't pry too deeply into other people's secrets. It can lead to disaster. Just maintain a good relationship with him. All he wants from us is to make sure his family is safe. As long as we do that, we're fine. You're right, Quinn. I see things more clearly now. I'll drink to that, Zack said, downing his glass. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a splitting headache. His memory of the previous night was a blur. He splashed cold water on his face, trying to clear his head, then called his mother to let her know where he was before falling back asleep. At the Yi household, his mother was grumbling about him while Elaine was happily packing her things. She had insisted they move to the new villa at East Lake immediately, and her parents had finally given in. Mom, is everything set for my party tomorrow? Your brother called and said he's booked the East Lake Hotel. Happy now? He spoils you too much. Now hurry up and pack. I have to call all our relatives and let them know the new location. Looking at all their packed belongings, Mrs. Yi felt a headache coming on. She had thought a trip or two in her husband's car would suffice, but now, faced with countless boxes and bags, especially her husband's collection of potted plants, she was ready to scream. To avoid becoming a casualty of her mother's wrath, Elaine wisely hired a moving company online. Before long, the movers arrived and began carrying everything downstairs. Mrs. Yi stood outside, chatting with the neighbors. May, are you guys moving? One of them asked. Yes, our Ethan made some money and insisted on getting us a bigger house. I tried to stop him, but you know how kids are these days. So disobedient, not saving up for his own marriage. Mrs. Yi complained, but the proud smile on her face betrayed her words. A filial son is a blessing. You should be happy. You've raised 2 university students. Your golden years are set. As long as the kids are doing well, that's all that matters. Well, my husband is calling for me. Come visit our new place sometime. With the envious gazes of her neighbors on her back, she left the home she had lived in for half her life. At the East Lake Villa, Mrs. Yi directed the movers, while Mr. Yi happily arranged his plants in the garden, then settled into the pavilion with a contented sigh. He imagined inviting a few old friends over for tea, admiring his flowers. The thought was delightful. His wife's shout interrupted his daydream, and he reluctantly went back inside. Honey, can you please take the clothes upstairs? You can deal with your flowers after we're done, she instructed. Meanwhile, Elaine had chosen a room on the 3rd floor, arranged her collection of dolls on the bed, and set up her photos. She then flopped onto the soft mattress, giggling to herself from time to time. Around noon, Ethan woke up again, feeling much better. After getting ready, he left the hotel. Driving past a residential area, he spotted a breakfast cart and realized he was craving a jianbingguozi. He parked and ordered one from the middle-aged woman running the cart. A few minutes later, he was back in his car, enjoying the familiar, delicious taste. It had been a long time. After finishing his breakfast, he drove to the villa, wondering if his parents were done unpacking. He found his father in the garden, fussing over his plants. Dad, Ethan teased, maybe I should buy you a plot of land so you can start a flower nursery. As the sage says, to know it is not as good as to love it, and to love it is not as good as to rejoice in it. You'd be great at it. His father's eyes lit up for a moment, then dimmed. I'm too old for that kind of thing. I'm happy just tending to my little garden here. But Ethan had seen the spark in his eyes and decided to prepare a surprise for him. Inside, his mother was watching TV. Ethan, I'm not against you drinking, but you have to know your limits. And never, ever drink and drive. I know, Mom. Don't worry. Mom, I was thinking of hiring 2 housekeepers, one for cleaning and one for cooking. What do you think? His mother, touched by his concern, refused. Son, I'm still healthy. We don't need help. When I'm old and can't manage anymore, then we can talk about it. You're about to graduate. You should focus on finding a wife and giving me a grandson. Ethan's mind immediately went to Nina. His mother would love her, and Elaine would probably treat her like a sister. A smile spread across his face. Seeing his expression, his mother's eyes twinkled knowingly. Before she could start interrogating him, Ethan made a hasty escape upstairs. Elaine opened her door to see him rushing up. What's wrong, brother? Is Mom about to hit you? No, that can't be right. She usually hits me. What are you talking about? Mom doesn't hit people, he said, rolling his eyes. Your party is tomorrow. Let's go get you some new clothes. At the mention of shopping, Elaine showered him with compliments and urged him to leave immediately. They drove to Yansha Town, an outlet mall designed like a European village, with each brand housed in its own separate storefront. Ethan steered Elaine directly to the clothing section, determined to avoid a tour of the entire mall. Do you have a favorite brand, or do I have to go into every single store with you? I don't know which one to choose, brother. You have to help me, she whined. Resigned to his fate as a shopping assistant, Ethan followed her into a Prada store. The sales associate initially paid little attention to Elaine, but her attitude changed completely when she saw Ethan, instantly recognizing the expensive Armani he was wearing. Welcome to Prada. Please let me know if I can assist you. Ethan pointed to Elaine. Find her a few outfits, he said, then found a seat. Elaine was overwhelmed by the choices. A sales associate approached her. Miss, the outfit you're looking at is from our new spring collection. It would suit you perfectly, youthful and vibrant. And with your fair complexion, it would be a perfect match. Would you like to try it on? Soon, Elaine had tried on 3 outfits and loved them all. As she was trying to decide, another girl, who looked to be a student, walked into the store and saw her. Elaine, what are you doing here? Elaine frowned. It was Gigi Zhang, a classmate she didn't get along with. Gigi was always competing with her, in academics, fashion, even friendships, and would spread rumors if she couldn't win. I'm here shopping with my brother. Is there a problem? Elaine retorted. Brother? You mean your sugar daddy, right? Gigi sneered. I heard your brother hasn't even graduated yet. How could he afford Prada for you? A few days ago, you were showing off a Patek Philippe on your social media. I thought you just stole the picture from somewhere, but now I see it must have been a gift from him too. Who would have thought? The top student of our class, Elaine Yi, being kept by someone. Hearing his sister being slandered, Ethan's temper flared. He strode over and slapped Gigi across the face. Apologize, he said, his voice dangerously low. Gigi clutched her stinging cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief. No one, not even her parents, had ever hit her. The fact that it was because of Elaine filled her with a venomous rage. How dare you hit me? Do you have any idea who my godfather is? Just you wait. She pulled out her phone and made a tearful call. Brother, let's just go, Elaine whispered, worried. Let's not get involved with a crazy person. But Ethan shook his head. If he didn't teach Gigi a lesson now, she would surely retaliate against Elaine later. He couldn't always be there to protect her. A short while later, a pot-bellied middle-aged man arrived and, after comforting Gigi, bellowed. Who has the nerve to hit my goddaughter? Show yourself. Ethan stepped forward. I did. Is there a problem? The man, Ken Shun, was about to curse him out when he got a clear look at Ethan's face. A cold sweat broke out on his forehead. This was the young man who was on friendly terms with the great Qin Qian. Why on earth had his stupid goddaughter provoked him? Mr. Yi, what are you doing here? You know me? Ethan asked, confused. Mr. Yi, I'm the general manager of the East Lake Hotel. You were there last night with Mr. Qian. I was the one who arranged for your room after you. Had a bit too much to drink. You probably don't remember, Ken explained nervously. Ethan had indeed blacked out. So, how should we resolve this? He asked, his gaze still cold. Gigi, get over here and kneel down and apologize to Mr. Yi. Ken wasn't about to risk his own skin for his goddaughter. Gigi was frozen with fear. She knew who Mr. Qian was. She scrambled over and fell to her knees. Mr. Yi, Elaine, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things. I'm a terrible person, she sobbed, slapping her own face. Seeing her groveling, Ethan lost interest. He waved his hand, and Ken quickly dragged her away. The store staff were now watching him with nervous apprehension. Ethan had lost his desire to shop. He had the associate pick out 2 of the latest handbags to go with the 3 outfits Elaine had tried on, paid for everything, and left with his sister. That was so satisfying, brother. Elaine exclaimed once they were outside. Gigi is always causing trouble for me at school. She won't dare to spread rumors anymore. Ethan ruffled her hair. She won't. And remember, if anything like this happens again, you tell me. Your brother will take care of it. On their way home, a dessert cart caught Elaine's eye. Brother, I want an egg waffle. Can you buy one for me? You have money, you can buy it yourself. No, it tastes better when you buy for me, she wheedled. Resigned, Ethan took her to the cart. 1 strawberry egg waffle, an order of takoyaki, and 2 lemon iced teas, please. While they waited, they sat at one of the plastic tables set up nearby. Brother, how are things with your girlfriend, Mia? Elaine asked. We broke up. What? Really? Don't be sad, brother. I think you should have broken up with her a long time ago. I never met her, but from your pictures and the way you talked about her, I never thought she really liked you. It always seemed like she was just keeping you around as a backup. Ethan sighed. Even his sister could see it. How had he been so blind? Don't worry, you're so handsome. I can introduce you to some of my friends. I have a lot of pretty friends. Just then, the vendor called out that their order was ready. Ethan quickly got up to retrieve it, eager to change the subject. After paying, he set the food on the table. As Elaine was about to start her matchmaking speech again, he cut her off. Stop. I already have a new girlfriend. Her eyes lit up, but before she could ask any questions, a small voice interrupted them. A cute little girl, about 6 or 7 years old, was standing by their table. Big sister, I want an egg waffle. Nina's heart immediately melted. She handed the girl her waffle, her mind already concocting stories of an abandoned child. Brother, she whispered. Do you think she was abandoned? She's so pitiful. Maybe we should take her home. Ethan looked at her like she was crazy. Look at her clothes, he said patiently. They're not designer, but they're clean. And look at how she eats. Small bites. She's clearly been well raised. She probably just got separated from her parents a few minutes ago. Elaine nodded, a little embarrassed. You're right. I didn't notice. She turned to the little girl with what she hoped was a gentle smile. What's your name, sweetie? Why are you all by yourself? The little girl, whose name was Nini, explained that she had been with her father, but he had gotten a phone call, and she had wandered off when she saw the dessert cart. The realization that she was lost suddenly hit her, and she burst into tears. I lost my daddy. What am I going to tell Sonny? Sonny loves daddy the most. Who's Sonny? Your grandpa? Elaine asked. No, Sonny is my dog. He's super cute. Elaine couldn't help but laugh. Children's logic was a thing of wonder. After calming Nini down, they tried to figure out where she had gotten separated from her father. Nini remembered a big Mickey Mouse statue and a big drum. Ethan consulted a map of the mall and determined she had likely wandered away from the central plaza between the clothing and food sections. They headed there, but after searching all the nearby shops and restrooms, they still couldn't find her father. Nini's eyes filled with tears again. Don't cry, Nini, Ethan said gently. We'll get more people to help us find your daddy. They went to the mall's service center and explained the situation. The staff immediately put out an announcement over the PA system. A short while later, a man in his mid-30s came running up, relief washing over his face when he saw Nini. He swept her up in a tight hug. Nini, I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. It's okay, Daddy. I found you again, she said. Big brother and the pretty sister helped me. They were super nice and even gave me an egg waffle. The man, whose name was Owen Yi, bowed deeply to Ethan and Elaine. Thank you for finding my daughter. I, Owen Yi, am forever in your debt. Ethan, seeing his formal, almost archaic way of speaking, accepted the bow on behalf of his sister. He was intrigued by this man and invited him and Nini to dinner. They went to the East Lake Hotel, where the manager, Ken Chun, who had learned his lesson, greeted them with the utmost respect and arranged for a private room. The table was soon laden with all sorts of delicacies. Owen seemed a bit uncomfortable, but Elaine quickly befriended Nini, and the two of them happily dug in. Owen, Ethan began, shall we have a drink? I don't usually drink, but today, in your debt, I will accompany you. As they drank, Ethan's curiosity grew. Brother Owen, I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Owen paused. You want to ask about Nini's mother and why I speak this way? Ethan nodded. He had noticed that Nini never mentioned a mother, and Owen's speech was strangely formal for a man his age. Owen was silent for a long moment. Brother Yi, have you ever heard of martial artists? He finally asked. Ethan shook his head, but his mind was racing. It was as if a door had opened to a world he never knew existed, a world that threatened to upend his entire understanding of reality. Martial artists really exist? Why have I never heard of them? Just because you haven't heard of something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Many ancient families have martial artists in their lineage. It's just not common knowledge. He went on to explain that both he and Nini's mother were martial artists. She had been severely injured in a conflict and had passed away. He had since left that world to raise Nini on his own. Ethan, while saddened by his story, was captivated by the idea of martial artists. He had always dreamed of being a swordsman, roaming the world and righting wrongs. He asked Owen about the different levels of martial artists, and Owen explained the 4 main realms: external strength, internal strength, post-celestial, and pre-celestial, with the latter 2 also known as Grandmaster and Great Grandmaster. He warned Ethan that the world of martial artists was far more brutal than the ordinary world and advised him to stay away. Ethan sobered up quickly. He was just a normal person. Getting involved in that world would be a death sentence, no matter how much money he had. He was better off sticking to his cashback system. What kind of work do you do now, Brother Owen? I was an investment manager at a firm, but I was just laid off today. That's why I didn't even notice Nini was gone. Ethan's eyes lit up. A martial artist who was also a skilled investment manager? This was a rare talent. Brother Owen, would you be interested in working for me? I can offer you two options. 1. Be my full-time bodyguard for an annual salary of 5 million yuan. Or 2. I'm planning to start an investment firm, and I'd like you to be in charge. The salary would be the same. I can also help with Nini. My parents could look after her, or we could hire a professional. Owen was tempted. Nini was his weak spot. He had been fired because he had spent too much time taking care of her, but he had no regrets. Brother Yi, I'd like to take the investment firm position, but I have one condition. I need to be able to bring Nini to work with me. I don't want to miss out on her growing up. That was an easy condition to meet. Ethan immediately agreed and transferred 20 billion yuan to Owen's account. Take this as seed money to set up the company and start investing. And I'd prefer it if you focused on full acquisitions of companies. Before the system upgrade, investments didn't yield cash back, but acquisitions did. Owen was speechless. 20 billion yuan, just like that? Wasn't he afraid he would just run off with the money? He composed himself and said solemnly, "Thank you for your trust, Brother Yi. I will not fail you." They discussed a few more details, then ended the dinner as Nini was getting sleepy. Ethan got a room for himself and Elaine at the hotel, since the party was there the next day. Lying in bed, Ethan thought about the day's events. System, if martial artists exist, do gods and immortals exist too? The host has not yet detected any existence that exceeds the power level of this plane. After the system upgrades, will there be items related to martial artists or cultivators in the shop? The system shop contains all manner of things from countless planes. There is nothing you can imagine that it does not have. Please upgrade the system as soon as possible, host. Ethan's curiosity about the system shop intensified. He needed to get serious about earning cash back. The next morning, Ethan woke up, surprised that Elaine hadn't come to wake him. It wasn't like her. After he got ready, a hotel staff member informed him that the party was being held in the Choyang Hall and that his sister was already there. When he arrived, the hall was beautifully decorated. A large screen at the front displayed a celebratory couplet. His phone rang. It was Elaine. "Brother, hurry up and come downstairs. The relatives are starting to arrive. Mom and Dad are here too. We're just waiting for you." Downstairs, 2 buses had just pulled up, and his parents were greeting the arriving guests. A sharp, unpleasant voice cut through the chatter. "Well, May, I never thought your family could afford to have a party at the East Lake Hotel. This must have cost a fortune. People should really live within their means. You don't want to be crying later when you're broke from showing off." His mother's face tightened, but she forced a smile and welcomed them upstairs. Ethan frowned. He had never liked this great aunt. She was a petty, snobbish woman who loved to put others down to make herself feel superior. As the guests settled in, a hotel staff member set up a small table at the entrance to collect cash gifts. The MC on stage was now delivering a flowery speech about Elaine's academic achievements, which Elaine was soaking up with a smug grin. After what felt like an eternity, the speech ended, and the food was served. Just then, Owen Yi arrived with Nini. Elaine immediately ran over, took Nini's hand, and led her to a reserved table. "Brother, I invited Nini. We'll sit here with Brother Owen," she announced. At another table, Fiona was at it again. Staring at the lavish spread, she was consumed with jealousy. "May, I heard you moved. Did you have to sell your old house to pay for this? It's just a university acceptance party. If you couldn't afford it, you should have just chosen a cheaper place. This table alone must have cost at least 10,000 yuan. And you're serving Mao Dai. It's not like she cured cancer. She just got into a university. What's the big deal? My son, Jason, may not have gone to university, but he's doing very well for himself. He's a contractor for the Grand Investment Group, making $1 million a year." She then turned to a waiter. "How much for a table like this? I'm thinking of booking a few to discuss wedding plans with my son's girlfriend's family." "Ma'am, without the liquor, this meal is 88,888 yuan per table." The entire table gasped. This party must have cost nearly 800,000 yuan. "May, have you lost your mind?" another aunt asked. "Did you really sell your house?" "Don't worry, Mrs. Yi said calmly. "Ethan made some money in Shanghai. He arranged everything. We didn't spend a dime, and we didn't sell our old house. In fact, Ethan bought us a new one." "Impossible. How could a student who hasn't even graduated afford all this? He must be involved in something shady. I've heard about these pyramid schemes that target recent graduates. You'd better be careful. He'll probably try to get us to invest in something and then run off with our money," Fiona declared, as if she had witnessed it herself. Mrs. Ye's face hardened. She was about to lose her temper when the doors to the hall opened, and 2 middle-aged men walked in, each carrying a briefcase. It was Qin Xian and Zhang Zhang. "Brother Yi, I hope we're not too late." Qin boomed. "It's all Zach's fault. He insisted I wait for him." "Brother Qian, Brother Zhang, come in, come in. Our table was just about to start," Ethan said, getting up to greet them. "One moment, Brother Yi. We need to present our gifts first. It's tradition. Don't you dare refuse," Qin said. They opened their briefcases, revealing stacks of cash. A gift of 888,888 yuan from Zach Zhang, chairman of Grand Investment Group. A gift of 888,888 yuan from Qin Xian, chairman of Fuyu Group, the staff member at the door announced. A wave of shock rippled through the room. These were two of the most powerful men in Jincheng. Your presence here is the greatest gift of all, Ethan said. Please, have a seat. There's something I wanted to talk to you both about anyway. Fiona was now pale with terror. She forced a hideous smile and sidled up to Mrs. Yi. May, I had no idea your son was so successful. Please forgive me for my foolish words earlier. You know, since your son is on such good terms with Mr. Zhang from Grand Investment, do you think you could put in a good word for my Jason? He is your nephew, after all. Mrs. Yi ignored her completely and continued eating. She knew Fiona too well. Even if she helped, Fiona would just badmouth her behind her back. At Ethan's table, Elaine politely greeted the two men before turning her attention back to Nini and the delicious food. Brother Qian, Brother Zhang, Ethan began, I'm starting an investment company. My friend here, Owen Yi, will be in charge. I hope you'll both lend him your support. Quinn's gaze shifted to Owen. Their eyes met, and a jolt went through Quinn. He could feel an immense power radiating from the man. He was a martial artist, and a high-level one at that. Brother Yi was even more remarkable than he had thought. Brother Owen, I'm Quinn Qian. If you ever need anything, just say the word. I won't let you down. Zach looked at Quinn, puzzled. When had his old friend become so accommodating to a stranger? Owen simply nodded. Mr. Qian, it seems you are also a fellow traveler on the path. There is no need for alarm. I have left that circle. I am just an ordinary man now. From their conversation, Ethan gathered that Brother Qian was also likely a martial artist, though probably not as powerful as Owen Yi. Brother Qian, do you have any office buildings for sale? I'm looking to buy one for the investment company, Ethan asked. Quinn turned to Zach. Zach, haven't you been trying to sell that Jinhui Tower? Why don't you just sell it to Brother Yi? Sure, Zach agreed. If Brother Yi is interested, I can transfer it to you. It's not doing me any good just sitting there. Brother Owen, please coordinate with Brother Zhang on this, and make sure he gets a fair price. Brother Zhang is doing us a big favor, Ethan said. He wasn't short on money, and he needed a high price for the system's cash back. At that moment, Ethan's parents walked over, glasses in hand. Ethan quickly stood and made the introductions. Brother Qian, Brother Zhang, these are my parents. Mom, Dad, this is Mr. Qian and Mr. Zhang. Mr. Qian, Mr. Zhang, thank you both for taking the time to come to our daughter's party, and for such generous gifts. We'd like to toast you both, Mr. Yi said, and he and his wife downed their drinks. Quinn and Zach stood and returned the toast. The pleasure is all ours. We feel a connection with Brother Yi and Elaine. Hearing this, Elaine muttered under her breath. If they call Mom and Dad big brother and sister-in-law, and call us younger brother and little sister, does that mean we have to call our parents big brother and sister-in-law too? Ethan shot her a look. The things that went through her head. No wonder their mom was always on her case. After Quinn and Zach sat down, Ethan excused himself and, with Elaine in tow, went with his parents to make the rounds and toast the other guests. At the Yi family table, after the initial thanks, his eldest uncle, Yuan Shan Yi, sighed. Yuan Hai, in the blink of an eye, the children are all grown up. Even Elaine is going to university. We're all getting old. You're right, big brother. We're getting old. I still remember you taking me to raid birds' nests. It's been 40 years. Ethan was then pulled aside by his 3 older cousins. Ethan, you've been holding out on us. We had no idea you knew such important people, his eldest cousin, Ian Yi, said, clapping him on the shoulder. He's always been like that, his second cousin added. So secretive. Then he just drops a bomb on everyone. And he's stubborn as a mule, said the third. When we were kids and he got into fights, he'd never back down. If I hadn't stepped in, he would have taken a beating to the end. Ethan just smiled helplessly. It wasn't that he was being secretive. He had only just met them himself. Seeing his parents moving on to the next table, he quickly followed, eager to escape his cousin's roasting. The next few tables went smoothly, but when they reached his mother's side of the family, trouble, as expected, began. As soon as his parents had finished their toast, his great-aunt Fiona piped up. Ethan, I see you're very familiar with Mr. Zhang from Grand Investment. Your cousin Jason does interior decorating for them. Could you put in a good word for him? Get him some more business? That would be a much more practical way to show your gratitude than just saying a few nice words. Mrs. Ye's face darkened. She had had enough. Fiona, have you no shame? You've been making snide remarks since the moment you arrived. Gratitude? What do I have to be grateful to you for? If it weren't for the memory of my late brother, I wouldn't even bother with you. If you don't want to be here, take your money and get out. At this, Fiona threw herself on the floor and started wailing, crying about how her husband had died young and now her poor, widowed self was being bullied by her sister-in-law. As all eyes in the room turned to them, she grew even louder. Ethan's voice was ice-cold. Great aunt, I suggest you leave right now. Otherwise, I can guarantee that your son won't get a single job from Grand Investment, or from anyone else in this entire city. Fiona immediately stopped crying, scrambled to her feet, snatched her gift money from the table, and stormed out, muttering curses under her breath. Mortified by the scene, Mrs. Yi excused herself and left the hall. Ethan returned to his table. Quinn looked at him. Do you want me to teach her a lesson? Or make her disappear? He asked quietly. Ethan shook his head. Don't trouble yourself, Brother Chien. I can handle a small matter like this. Besides, she's still family. There's no need to be so ruthless. Soon after, the guests began to leave. Quinn arranged for the hotel's buses to take them home. Ethan also took a car back to the villa. When he arrived, he found his other aunts and his uncle there, and his mother seemed to be in better spirits. Feeling better, Mom? If you're still angry, I can go teach her a lesson. Let it go? For your uncle's sake. We'll just see less of them in the future, she sighed. But Ethan, if you can help your cousin Jason, please do. He's your uncle's only son. Ethan nodded. Just then, his youngest cousin, Sean Wong, came running downstairs. Brother Ethan, I saw a piano upstairs. Do you know how to play? No, I don't. But there's a cool place downstairs you probably haven't found yet. Come on, I'll show you. He took him to the basement. The basement, which was divided into 3 areas, a wine cellar, a 10-person KTV room, and a 20-seat private cinema with massage chairs. He grabbed 2 Cokes from a fridge and handed one to his cousin. Singing on the left, movies on the right. What do you want to do? Can I watch some cartoons and then sing? Sean asked slyly. Ethan laughed. You little schemer. Fine. He put on a cartoon for him, telling him to come upstairs when he was done. After setting up the movie for his cousin, Ethan went back upstairs. Where's Sean? His mother asked. There's a TV down there. Mom, have you not been to the basement? It's not a TV, it's a small movie theater. There's also a KTV room and a wine cellar. You should really explore your own house. At this, the whole family's interest was piqued, and they all headed downstairs. A few minutes later, a dejected Sean trudged back up. The adults had commandeered the cinema and put on a war movie. Ethan chuckled. They were like a bunch of big kids. He took his cousin to the study on the 3rd floor and set up the cartoon on his laptop. A sudden notification from the system startled him. Congratulations, host. You spent 2 billion yuan. A cashback of 200 billion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. It must have been Owen and Zach finalizing the deal for the Jinhui Tower. That Owen was certainly efficient. He opened his messaging app and found his chat with Nina. She hadn't contacted him in the last couple of days. He sent her a message. Been busy lately? You haven't been thinking of me at all, have you? A reply came back almost instantly. Ethan, I've been thinking of you every day, but I knew you were home for something important, so I didn't want to bother you. I'm so happy to get your message, because it means you were thinking of me too. Silly girl. If you miss me, you should text me. I'm almost done here. I'll be back in a couple of days. I'll take you out for a big dinner when I get back. Okay, I want to go to Fengming Pavilion again. That's our lucky place. Deal. He put down his phone. It was getting late. He called the hotel manager, Ken Chun. Ken, it's Ethan Yi. Could you prepare a meal for 20 people and have it delivered to East Lake Villa, number 8? Right away, Mr. Yi. It'll be there in half an hour, Ken said, immensely relieved. He had been terrified that Ethan would hold a grudge against him. He immediately had the kitchen prioritize the order and drove it over himself. When Ethan opened the door and saw him, he was surprised. Ken, you didn't have to come yourself. It's my pleasure to serve you, Mr. Yi, Ken said, overseeing the setup of the food. Ken, what happened before is in the past. I haven't given it a second thought, so you can relax, Ethan told him. Thank you, Mr. Yi. I've learned my lesson. I won't disturb your meal any longer. After the food was arranged, Ethan called his cousin down for dinner, then went to the basement to get the rest of the family. Just as they were about to eat, he heard Elaine at the door. Brother, come quick. Dad's drunk, and I can't hold him up. Ethan rushed out and took his father's weight. Where were you guys? Dad insisted on going to our uncle's house. They started reminiscing, and Dad told all sorts of embarrassing stories from when he was a kid. You know, like the time Grandpa asked him to find his back, and Dad searched on the floor for it before asking Grandpa where his back was. Grandpa was so mad he chased him with a stick. Ethan almost choked with laughter. He quickly sent Elaine in to eat and helped his father up to his room. When he returned to the dining room, his mother was concerned. How is he? That old man. He never knows when to stop. Let him be, Mom. He was happy today. You can lecture him tomorrow when he's sober, Elaine said, gleefully fanning the flames. After dinner, it started to rain. His mother insisted that everyone stay the night. Ethan agreed, turning on the KTV system for them before heading up to his own room. He called Owen. Brother Owen, you work fast. The Jinhui Tower deal is already done. Zach wasn't too drunk, so I just dragged him back to his office to get the paperwork done. Did you need something? Yes, there's a place called the Jincheng Flower Nursery, about 5 kilometers west of East Lake Resort. I want you to buy it for my father. Money is no object. I've heard of it. It's the largest in the city. It won't be cheap. At least 5 billion. Just get it done. I'll transfer you the funds now. After the call, Ethan sent Owen another 50 billion yuan. He now had 230 billion in his account. He still needed over 9 trillion in cash back to upgrade the system. He needed to get back to Shanghai soon. He wondered how fast that genius Luna Shun could spend money. He had to find a way to get her on his team. A rustling sound from downstairs caught Ethan's attention. A burglar? Impossible. Security at East Lake was top-notch. He crept downstairs to find his father rummaging through the refrigerator, looking for a late-night snack. Ethan snuck up behind him and clapped him on the back. His father jumped, then let out a sigh of relief when he saw it was him. "You brat. You scared me to death. I thought you were your mother. Where is she, anyway? She's gotten bold lately, staying out so late." Ethan held up his phone as if recording. "What was that, Dad? I didn't quite catch it." "I said, where's your mother? I miss her," his father said, quickly changing his tune. "She's downstairs singing with our aunts and uncle," Ethan said, amused. "Singing? I don't hear anything. You're pulling my leg." Resigned, Ethan led his father to the basement. At the sight of the wine cellar and KTV, his father's eyes lit up. "You brat. Why didn't you tell me about this place sooner?" He immediately went inside to join the party. Ethan just shook his head. Did they not even explore their own house? The next morning, Owen and Nini went to the ginseng flower nursery. Quinn had already arranged a meeting for them. The owner, a man named Huang, greeted them warmly. "Mr. Yi, welcome. I've been expecting you since I got the call from Mr. Qian yesterday." "Mr. Huang, let's not beat around the bush," Owen said. "Name your price for this nursery." Mr. Huang had calculated the value of the property at 5 billion, but he decided to try his luck. "Mr. Yi, I built this place from the ground up. To be honest, I don't want to sell. But since it's Mr. Qian asking, I have to give him face. How does 6 billion sound?" It was a bit high, but still within a reasonable range. Owen, remembering Ethan's instructions to acquire it at any cost, agreed. A system notification woke Ethan from his sleep. He had just received 600 billion in cash back. He had definitely chosen the right man for the job. In just 2 days, Owen had generated 800 billion in cash back for him. His phone rang. It was Owen. "Brother Yi, the ginseng flower nursery is ours. You can bring your father over whenever you're ready." "Brother Owen, you're incredibly efficient. I'm transferring you another round of funds. I'm heading back to Shanghai tomorrow, so I'll leave things here in your hands." He sent Owen another 100 billion yuan. The sooner Owen spent it, the sooner his system would upgrade. Downstairs, his parents and Elaine were chatting. The relatives had all gone home. "I'm heading back to Shanghai tomorrow," Ethan announced. "Your graduation certificate should be ready soon." "It's about time you went back," his mother said. "Brother, I want to go with you," Elaine pleaded. "I want to see Shanghai University. It's so boring at home." "Fine, you can go," her mother said with a smile. "But don't cause any trouble for your brother." Ethan then took his father aside. "Dad, let's go out. There's something I want to show you." They drove to the flower nursery. His father, a passionate plant lover, was in heaven. "Ethan, are you buying me flowers? You're a good son." "Big brother. Grandpa Yi, you're here. Come look, the flowers are so pretty." Nini came running out to greet them. Owen followed close behind. "Uncle Yi, Brother Yi, welcome to our flower nursery." His father was confused. "Our nursery?" Then it dawned on him. He looked at Ethan, his eyes wide with excitement. "Dad, this place is yours now. Do you like your gift?" "Like it. I love it." After the initial excitement, a wave of doubt washed over him. "Ethan, can I really do this? I love gardening, but I've never managed something on this scale. I'm afraid I'll mess it up." "Don't worry, Uncle Yi," Owen reassured him. "All the technical staff are staying on. They'll handle the large-scale cultivation." His father, relieved, happily accepted the gift and ran off with Nini to explore. Ethan turned to Owen, who was still dressed in his simple, worn-out clothes. "Brother Owen, I know you don't like accepting charity, so how about I raise your salary to 20 million a year, with bonuses? You're the CEO of our new company, Cosmic Investment. You need to look the part. And that old car of yours has to go. You also need a secretary and an assistant to help you out, and to help look after Nini. This isn't a negotiation, it's an order. Go take care of it this afternoon. And buy some new clothes for Nini too. Put it all on the company account." "Brother Yi, you really don't have to do this. You know we martial artists don't care about these things." "You may not, but Nini does. You have to think of her. She'll be starting school soon. You don't want her to be looked down upon by her classmates, do you? Don't refuse, Brother Owen. If you do, you're not treating me as a brother." Owen finally relented. He would do anything for Nini. Ethan drove back to the villa alone, leaving his father to revel in his new flower paradise. He booked 2 plane tickets to Shanghai online. When he got back to the house, he found several large suitcases piled in the living room. "Are we having relatives over, Mom? What's with all the luggage?" "It's your sister. She's insisting on bringing all this with her to Shanghai," his mother said with an exasperated sigh. Just then, Elaine emerged from the elevator, hugging a giant stuffed animal. "Brother, do you think I'm missing anything? It's my first time leaving Jincheng. I want to be prepared." Ethan couldn't believe it. It looked like she was trying to move the entire house. He walked over and gently bonked her on the head. "You silly girl, what do you need all this for? I have everything you need over there. Put it all back. Just bring a change of clothes." Pouting, Elaine reluctantly began to lug her suitcases back to her room. "She only listens to you," his mother said to Ethan. "Look after her in Shanghai, and make sure she doesn't get into any trouble." "Don't worry, Mom. She may seem like a handful, but she has a good head on her shoulders. She's just a little sheltered and overly attached to home. The time at home always felt too short. At the airport, after a tearful goodbye with their parents, Ethan and Elaine boarded the plane. Brother, this is my first time on a plane. I heard they have free food and drinks. I'm going to try everything, Elaine chattered excitedly. A familiar voice interrupted him. Fancy meeting you here. Molly, what a coincidence. Auntie Molly, it's me, Elaine. Do you remember me? You met me once when my brother and I were playing. Little Elaine? I can't believe it. You've grown into such a beautiful young woman. You're the beautiful one, Auntie Molly. You must have so many guys chasing you. Molly glanced at Ethan. No, I'm still single. The plane is about to take off. You'd better buckle up, Elaine, or you'll take a tumble. 2 hours later, they landed in Shanghai. Where are we going now, brother? You have to show me around. All you think about is having fun. We're going home first. Then I'll take you to see the university. They took a taxi to Thompson Riviera. Elaine's eyes widened at the name. Brother, you don't have a place here, do you? I've seen online that the apartments here are incredibly expensive. Do you like it? If you do, I'll get you one as a wedding present. Stop it, I'm still a baby. What about you, brother? When are you going to introduce me to my sister-in-law? You never finished telling me about her. We'll go home first, then we can meet her at the university. Ethan registered Elaine's biometrics for the apartment door. Inside, she was like a kid in a candy store, exploring every corner. Brother, I love the big round bathtub in the bathroom. And the floor-to-ceiling windows are gorgeous. Can I please have your bedroom? I love it so much. This little bandit. It was her first day, and she was already trying to take over his room. But she was his sister, so he relented. Yay, I knew you were the best brother. So, when school starts, are you going to live here or in the dorms? I think I'll stay in the dorms. It's part of the university experience. I can come back here on the weekends, she decided. All right, whatever you want. You should get your driver's license soon. I'll get you a car so it's easier to get around. On the way to the university, Elaine made him stop at a flower shop. You're not going to see my sister-in-law empty-handed, are you? What do you mean? You're such a blockhead. I have no idea how you managed to get a girlfriend. Get out and buy her some roses. It hadn't even occurred to him. He quickly went into the shop and bought a beautiful bouquet of red roses. At the university, Ethan held the roses while Elaine clung to his arm. This campus is so pretty, brother. Look at the library. It's so cool. And well, let's not talk about the bathrooms. Ethan's face was starting to darken. He was thirsty, so he took Elaine to the campus store. The owner, Liu Zhao, smiled when he saw him. Haven't seen you in a while. Been busy? And who's this? He asked, his eyes full of suspicion. This is my sister, Elaine, Leo. She's going to be a student here soon. I'm just showing her around. You scared me for a second, kid. I thought you'd gotten a new girlfriend. Anyone would get the wrong idea with you carrying that bouquet. What Ethan didn't know was that Nina's roommate, Shannon, had seen them from a distance. In her dorm room, Nina was daydreaming. When is Ethan coming back? It's been so many days. I wonder if he misses me. Just then, Shannon burst in, looking flustered. She didn't know how to tell Nina what she had just seen. Nina, I just saw Senior Ethan on campus, she finally managed. What? He's back? Where is he? Nina exclaimed, jumping up. Shannon grabbed her arm. Nina, listen to me. I saw him outside the campus store, holding a bouquet of roses, with another girl. Now, don't get upset. Maybe I was mistaken. But Nina was already gone. She ran to the store and saw Ethan and Elaine sitting outside, laughing together. The sight was a dagger to her heart, and she burst into tears. Brother, that girl over there is crying, Elaine said, confused. Ethan turned and saw Nina. He immediately ran towards her, but Shannon blocked his path. Senior Ethan, I can't believe you're a cheater. Nina likes you so much, and you're two-timing her? What's the point of coming over here now, acting all concerned? Go be with your new girlfriend. Nina, let's go. He's not worth your tears. Ethan was at a loss for words. He tried to get to Nina, but just then, Elaine came over. Brother, is this my sister-in-law? She asked. Brother? Nina stopped crying, her expression turning to one of confusion. But Shannon wasn't convinced. Nice try, little girl. Now that you've been caught, you're pretending to be his sister? Then what about the roses? If he's your brother, how do you prove it? Elaine, who was usually a bit ditzy, was surprisingly sharp in this moment. She pointed to the roses. Those are for my sister-in-law. And as for proving we're siblings, that's easy. She took out her ID card and asked Ethan for his. She handed them both to Nina. Sister-in-law, look. The addresses are the same. We're brother and sister, from the same parents. Ethan gave Elaine a discreet thumbs up. He would have had a much harder time explaining his way out of that one. Nina looked at them, embarrassed. She knew she had misunderstood. Shannon, realizing her mistake, mumbled an apology and fled. Sister-in-law, come on, let's go sit over there, Elaine said, taking charge. Ethan handed the roses to Nina. These are for you, Nina. I hope you like them. Nina took them, her face beaming. Ethan, Elaine, I'm so sorry. I jumped to conclusions. It's okay, sister-in-law. Don't worry about it. Hey, are you free this afternoon? Let's go shopping. My treat. I mean my brother's treat. The atmosphere quickly lightened. When Nina learned that Elaine would also be a student at the university, she was even happier. She could get to know Ethan better through her, and she could build a good relationship with her future sister-in-law. Ethan, seeing them getting along so well, booked a table at Fengming Pavilion for that evening. Just then, he got a call from Shan. Brother Yi, you invested all this money in my family, and you haven't even asked for an update. I trust you, Brother Shun. Besides, it wasn't that much money. What's up? I've cleared out of the Cloud9 villa. You can move in any time. Also, the Qin family, the most powerful family in Shanghai, is hosting a charity gala tomorrow night. Are you interested? A gala didn't sound particularly exciting, but he was very interested in spending money. I'll be there, Brother Shun. Great. I'll send you the address. See you tomorrow night. The address was the Shanghai Pearl Hotel. Brother, are you going to a gala tomorrow night? Can you take me and Nina with you? I've never been to one before. Please. All right, we'll all go. At his agreement, Elaine jumped for joy and immediately started making plans with Nina to go shopping for dresses. Ethan took them to Wanda Plaza. They went to the Armani store first to get him a suit. The sales associate recognized him and greeted him warmly. A new suit was quickly selected. When he came out of the fitting room, Nina and Elaine were speechless. Brother, I never knew you could look so handsome in a suit. It's blinding, Elaine exclaimed. As a jade among the crowd, a gentleman without equal, Nina added with a smile. That's the one. And your eyes are the eyes of a dog. A single dog, Ethan retorted. Nina burst out laughing, while Elaine glared at him. Nina, aren't you going to do something about your man? How can he talk to his own sister like that? All right, you two go pick out your dresses, Ethan said, quickly changing the subject. Elaine chose a backless gown, which made Ethan's eye twitch. His mother would have a fit if she saw it. Nina chose a more conservative dress that perfectly complemented his suit. After picking out some accessories, they paid and left. So, brother, how did you and Nina meet? Elaine asked on the way out. You want to know? Ethan said with a mysterious smile. I'll take you to a place, and you'll find out. Chapter 31. I see how it is, brother, Elaine pouted. Now that you have Nina, you don't dote on me anymore. You're even keeping secrets from me. Nina quickly went to her side to comfort her. You silly girl, Ethan said, exasperated. The place we're going is where Nina and I officially met. It's better for you to see it for yourself than for me to just tell you. You just don't dote on me anymore. You're not even comforting me. Nina is much nicer, she said, sticking her tongue out at him before turning to chat with Nina. A short while later, they arrived at Fengming Pavilion. A long line had already formed outside. After confirming his reservation, Ethan and the girls were led to their table. Wow, it's so beautiful and traditional in here, Elaine exclaimed. Look at the lady playing the guzheng over there. She looks like a fairy. You two met here? It's like stepping back in time. This is where your brother and I first really met, Nina said, a happy smile on her face. My roommate and I shared his table, right here. And you have to call the waiters a shower, like in the old days, Ethan added. They won't respond if you just call them waiter. Why don't you try it? Elaine's eyes lit up. She had only ever heard that term on TV. With a dramatic flair, she hopped onto a stool and yelled, Shower! 2 pounds of wine and 5 pounds of beef for this lady. Ethan's face darkened. He knew she would pull a stunt like this. He shot her a glare. What on earth is going through your head? Shower, a few of your signature dishes, a pot of Longjing tea, and 2 glasses of orange juice, please. But that's how they order in the movies. Elaine protested. Especially the part where I stood on the stool. Wasn't that impressive? Impressive, my foot. Can't you be more ladylike? How are you ever going to get married? As an only child, Nina found their bickering endearing. She had always envied kids who had an older brother to tease and care for them. She found herself blushing as she thought about having a big family with Ethan one day. Just then, a harsh voice interrupted the moment. Well, if it isn't Ethan. Pretty boys have it so easy, juggling 2 girls at once. TSK. Ladies, your taste is terrible. What's so good about a jobless loser? A pretty face can't pay the bills. Elaine looked at him as if he were an idiot. This man had no idea who he was talking to. Greg, you're like a bad smell that just won't go away, Ethan said, his voice dripping with contempt. I had almost forgotten about a piece of trash like you, but you just had to show up and remind me. You take care of me? You're delusional. In my eyes, you're nothing, Greg sneered. That was the last straw for Elaine. She unleashed a torrent of insults that left Greg speechless with rage. The owner of the restaurant, Julian Zhou, soon arrived with security guards. Gentlemen, I am the owner of Fengming Pavilion. Please, take your dispute elsewhere, or I will have to ask you to leave. Ethan turned to him. Mr. Zhou, is your restaurant for sale? Name your price. Greg burst out laughing. Ethan, you're really something. Are you trying to buy Fengming Pavilion? That's hilarious. Do you have any idea how much this place is worth? At least 80 million. You can't even afford a table. Ignoring him, Ethan repeated, 100 million yuan. Sir, I have no intention of selling, Julian said, clearly not believing him. Haha, Ethan, you look like a clown. Keep it up. If you can buy this place, I'll crawl out of here on my hands and knees. 150 million, Ethan said calmly. Sir, it's not that I don't believe you. I'm just not interested in selling. I built this place from the ground up. It has sentimental value. So it's not impossible to sell, Ethan countered. 200 million. And you can stay on as the manager. Julian was stunned by the offer, but he was still skeptical. Sir, if you can really produce 200 million yuan, Foaming Pavilion is yours. Ethan got his account number and transferred the money. A moment later, Julian's phone buzzed. He looked down, then back at Ethan, his expression a mixture of shock and awe. Boss, he said respectfully. From this moment on, Foaming Pavilion is yours. What are your orders? Ethan gestured towards Greg, who was frozen in disbelief. Help him fulfill his promise. Before Greg could make a run for it, 2 security guards grabbed him and forced him to the ground. With a final, hateful glare at Ethan, he began to crawl out of the restaurant in humiliation. Boss, any other instructions? Julian asked. He knew that a man who would spend 200 million just to settle a score was not to be trifled with. You'll continue to manage the place. I won't be involved. And tonight, all the customers eat for free to celebrate Greg's crawl of shame. The announcement was met with a roar of applause. News of the incident quickly spread online, causing quite a stir in Shanghai. Brother, that was so cool, Elaine exclaimed. The way that Greg guy crawled out, like a big turtle. It was hilarious. Chapter 32. Nina looked at Ethan with pure adoration. What woman didn't love to see her man being powerful and decisive? All right, let's eat, Ethan said. Don't let insignificant people ruin our good mood. He started placing food on Nina's plate, which earned him a glare from Elaine. He sighed and resigned himself to being the designated food server for both of them. As they were finishing up, Elaine whispered to Nina, why don't we go hang out at my brother's place? My room is really pretty, and it's probably not a good idea to take our dresses for the gala back to the dorm. Okay, Nina agreed. I'm curious to see what his place is like. I hear guys' apartments are always messy. Maybe I'll find some of his smelly socks. She winked at Elaine, who winked back at her brother, as if to say, you can thank me later. They left Foaming Pavilion and headed for Thompson Riviera. At the apartment, Elaine had Ethan register Nina's biometrics as well, so it'll be easier for her to come visit me, she explained, though her true motive was obvious. Come on, Nina, I'll show you my room. I had to fight my brother for it, she said, dragging Nina away. Ethan was left alone in the living room. He had thought his sister was trying to give him some alone time with his girlfriend, but apparently not. He flopped onto the sofa and started scrolling through Douyin. A video of the incident at Foaming Pavilion had already gone viral. The comments were a mixed bag of praise for his extravagance and criticism for his arrogance. He quickly swiped past it and landed on a live stream. A pretty girl was singing to an audience of less than 50 people. He recognized her as a university classmate, Fei Fong. Just then, a PK battle request popped up. Fei was matched with a popular streamer known as Sexy Kitty, who had over 2 million followers. Can we do a PK, little Fei? Sexy Kitty purred. Fei, knowing this was a huge opportunity for exposure, nervously agreed. Okay, then let's set the stakes, Sexy Kitty said confidently. The loser has to take off all their makeup and turn off their beauty filter. The battle began, and Sexy Kitty immediately launched into a seductive dance, her follower count and gift score soaring. Fei's stream, in contrast, was dead. Ethan felt a pang of sympathy. He tried to send a gift, but a system notification stopped him. To prevent malicious cashback farming, live stream donations are not eligible for rewards. Oh well, he still had plenty of money. He topped up his account with 10 million yuan and started sending gifts. 10 carnivals, then 50, then 100. Fei's score shot past Sexy Kitty's. The chat exploded. A whale has entered the chat. All hail the great maple snow. He just took down an army of 50,000 with one hand. Sexy Kitty, seeing she was losing, started to panic. If she had to take off her makeup and turn off her filter, her career would be over. She tried to win back her audience with even more suggestive moves, and her score began to climb. But Ethan wasn't done. He sent another 200 carnivals, then 500, then 1,000. By the time he had spent all 10 million, Fei's score was insurmountable. Her viewer count had jumped to over 100,000, and she had gained 50,000 new followers. She was stammering her thanks, unable to believe her luck. She had just earned over 5 million yuan in a single night. On the other side of the screen, a pale-faced Sexy Kitty was being spammed with demands to fulfill the terms of the bet. With a look of utter despair, she turned off her filter and began to remove her makeup. The transformation was shocking. That's not Sexy Kitty, that's a bloated middle-aged woman, the chat erupted. The top donor just left the stream. I wonder what his psychological trauma is like now. Ethan, bored, logged off. He noticed he had gained 80,000 new followers, and his inbox was flooded with messages, including one from Fei, asking to treat him to dinner to thank him. Ethan ignored the messages and logged out. The sun was setting. It looked like Nina would be staying the night. It was a shame their first time having her over wouldn't be a romantic evening for two, thanks to the third wheel, Elaine. Just then, the two girls emerged from the bedroom. Brother, Nina's staying over tonight. We're going to have a long chat, so don't you dare disturb us, Elaine announced. Should I get you another blanket? Ethan asked. I'll just grab one from the guest room. And don't forget to take Nina back to school tomorrow morning. With that, she dragged Nina back into the room. A little while later, Ethan was in the living room, shirtless, watching TV after a shower. The two girls came out, having also showered. Nina was wearing a pair of Elaine's pajamas, which were a bit too small for her. The top was stretched tight across her chest, the buttons straining. Elaine looked from Nina to her own flat chest and sighed dramatically. Nina, how did you get so blessed? I must have taken after my dad. The two girls collapsed onto the sofa. As Nina sat down, one of the buttons on her pajama top finally gave way and shot across the room, hitting Ethan in the face. He picked up the button, confused, and looked at the two girls. Elaine was howling with laughter, while Nina was beet red, staring at the floor. How did that feel, brother? Elaine cackled. You're a lucky man. So much to look forward to. Ethan finally understood. The button was from Nina's shirt. He looked at her, a new appreciation dawning in his eyes. Under his intense gaze, Nina's embarrassment slowly faded. Wipe your drool, brother. It's about to drip on the sofa. Should I give you two some privacy? Elaine teased. Ethan quickly looked away, clearing his throat. This sister of his had zero tact. Maybe he should send her back to Jincheng. Seeing his glare, Elaine just batted her eyelashes innocently. Then she noticed Nina also staring at Ethan, a thoughtful look on her face. What are you thinking about, Nina? Are you embarrassed? Come on, let's go back to the room and leave my brother to his thoughts, she said, pulling Nina up despite their protests. In the bedroom, Elaine asked, so, what do you really think of my brother? He's great, Nina said honestly. He's cheerful, responsible, and very handsome. But have you noticed his biggest flaw? Nina shook her head. He's terrible at expressing himself. He's very passive. I bet he's never told you he loves you, or even initiated a hug, has he? It's not that he doesn't love you, but he doesn't know how to show it. If you want to be with him long term, you have to be bold and tell him what you want. Don't expect that blockhead to ever guess what a girl is thinking. You're right, Nina said, a look of realization on her face. He's never initiated anything, but he does all these little things, like getting us the same watch, or taking me back to the same table where we first met. He's very detail-oriented, but it's easy to miss. I guess I'll have to be more proactive. The two of them stayed up late, chatting and laughing, before finally falling asleep. The next morning, Nina woke up early and tiptoed into the kitchen, excited to make breakfast for Ethan for the first time. She expertly prepared a delicious-looking meal of egg and vegetable sandwiches. Elaine, drawn out by the aroma, added the finishing touch, 3 glasses of milk. Perfect, she declared. A knock on his door woke Ethan. It was Elaine, excitedly telling him that breakfast was ready. He went to the dining room to find a plate of golden brown egg and vegetable sandwiches waiting for him. Come on, Ethan, try it, Nina said with a radiant smile. The first bite was a burst of flavor and warmth. This is what it felt like to be loved, he thought. He wanted to pull her into his arms and hold her tight. It's delicious, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Thank you. This is the happiest I've been in a long time. Nina beamed, her heart soaring at his praise. Hey, what about the milk I poured? Don't I get any compliments? Elaine chimed in. Ethan rolled his eyes, but seeing her expectant face, he dutifully praised her milk-pouring skills. After breakfast, he drove Nina back to the university. At the dorm entrance, she turned to him. Can you hug me, Ethan? He wrapped his arms around her, holding her close. You're amazing, Nina. You show me what love is supposed to feel like. It's so sweet. I'm so lucky to have met you. He then leaned in and kissed her, a deep, passionate kiss that made the world melt away. A sharp cough brought them back to reality. The dorm matron was standing there, a stern look on her face. All right, you two, break it up. You're causing a scene. Nina blushed and ran into the building without a backward glance. Ethan mumbled an apology and quickly left. Back in his car, he headed for the Cloud 9 villa. A woman in her 30s, the head housekeeper, Bianca Bai, greeted him at the door. After a brief tour and introductions to the staff of 7, Ethan transferred 20 million yuan to her, enough to cover their salaries for the next 10 years, at double their current rate. Bianca was stunned by his generosity. She then handed him 2 invitations that Shanghai had left for him. They were for the Qin family's charity gala that evening. As he was driving back to his apartment, he got a call from his roommate, Wayne Wong. Dude, where have you been? We've been blowing up your phone. We're getting our graduation certificates tomorrow. The guys are all going out for dinner tonight. Don't you dare say you're busy. You have to be there, even if we have to drag you. If Wayne hadn't called, Ethan would have completely forgotten about graduation. I'll be there, he promised. He felt a pang of sadness. 4 years of university, gone in a flash. He had made 3 great friends, and now they were all about to go their separate ways. He shook his head, trying to push away the melancholy. He picked up Nina, and they headed back to his apartment to get ready. Elaine was already there, having spent the day exploring the city on her own. After changing into their formal wear, Ethan and Nina were sharing a quiet moment in the living room. When Elaine burst in, Okay, you two, I'm ready. Let's go, she announced, completely oblivious to the fact that she had just interrupted a kiss. I think it's time to send this girl back to Jincheng, Ethan muttered to Nina, who just giggled. At the Oriental Pearl Hotel, after showing their invitations, they were admitted to the grand ballroom. Shanshin spotted them immediately and came over to greet them. Brother Yi, I was just thinking of you. Let me introduce you. This is my sister, Luna Shun. Ethan finally came face to face with the legendary business prodigy. She was stunning, with sharp, intelligent eyes that seemed to see right through you, and an air of confidence that was impossible to ignore. Thank you for your help, Mr. Yi, she said, her voice cool and steady. Please, call me Ethan. He then introduced Nina and Elaine. As they were talking, a system notification popped up. Congratulations, host. You spent 3 billion yuan. A cashback of 300 billion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Owen had struck again. He was truly a godsend. But before he could even process the new influx of cash, another notification arrived. Congratulations, host. You have accumulated over 1 trillion yuan in cash back. You have unlocked a special reward. 1 marrow cleansing pill, 10 primary defensive talismans, capable of blocking a full power attack from a great grandmaster for 10 minutes, and the introductory chapter of the Chaos Scripture, allowing cultivation up to the Golden Core realm. A storm of emotions raged within Ethan. This was a whole new world opening up to him, the world of cultivation. Would he one day be able to fly on a sword? Would he be able to live forever? Brother Yi, are you okay? Sean's voice brought him back to reality. I'm fine, he said, his voice now laced with a newfound confidence. I was just thinking, if the Fang family dares to make a move against me, I don't mind making them disappear from Shanghai. The Shin siblings were shocked. Did he really have the power to destroy the Fang family, a behemoth with over 200 billion in assets and deep political connections? Sean led them to a quieter corner of the ballroom. Brother Yi, our offensive against the Fangs has been stalled by outside interference, he admitted, a look of frustration on his face. We've managed to chip away at some of their assets, but the overall impact has been minimal. Ethan wasn't surprised. A family that powerful wouldn't go down easily, and his 10 billion yuan investment, while significant, was a drop in the bucket compared to his now trillion yuan net worth. Ethan took a glass of red wine from a passing waiter and looked at the Shin siblings. Brother Shun, I don't really care about the business side of things. You don't need to feel guilty. Then he turned to Luna Shun. Miss Shun, I'm planning to set up an investment firm in Shanghai. Would you be interested in being the CEO? Luna's eyes lit up. The current state of the Shun family business was stifling her talent. She desperately needed outside help to take on the Fangs, but few were willing to openly defy them. Mr. Yi, she said calmly, what is the scale of your proposed company? You should be aware that if I were the CEO, we would undoubtedly face pressure from the Fangs. Ethan understood her concerns, but for him, it wasn't an issue. He didn't need to make money. He just needed to spend it. The initial investment will be 200 billion yuan, with no cap on future funding. I will not interfere with any of your investment decisions. Your compensation will be an annual salary of 100 million yuan, plus 5% of the company's profits. Sean's jaw dropped. A 200 billion yuan cash flow was a top-tier asset, even in China. No wonder Ethan was so confident about taking down the Fangs. Brother Yi, Sean asked cautiously, if Luna joins your company, would you be willing to help the Shun family target the Fangs? Ethan just laughed. Like I said, Brother Shun, I won't interfere with Miss Shun's investment decisions. You can rest assured of that. Mr. Yi, thank you for your trust. I will not disappoint you, Luna said, her voice firm. After settling a few details, Ethan transferred the 200 billion to her, giving her full authority to establish the new company. Just then, a commotion from across the room caught their attention. It was Elaine. Ethan immediately went over to her. What's going on? They were so rude, brother. Elaine fumed. Nina and I were just getting some food, and they pushed her aside, saying we were in the way of their picture. I stood up for her, and when Nina tried to pull me away, they tripped her. Ethan quickly checked on Nina. She was a little shaken, with a red mark on her arm, but otherwise unharmed. He then turned to the 3 women, his eyes cold, and slapped each one of them across the face. The 3 shrieks echoed through the hall, drawing everyone's attention. How dare you hit us? We're famous influencers with 1 million followers. We're going to expose you online. You'll be cancelled. Sean and Luna rushed over. Brother Yi, do you want me to handle this? These types are like toads, not poisonous, but disgusting. I can handle it, Ethan said, his voice dangerously calm. Apologize now, or you'll face consequences you can't even imagine. What big words. Who does this guy think he is? A sneering voice said from behind them. It was Felix Fang. Birds of a feather flock together. Anyone who hangs out with trash like Shan Shun must be trash themselves. Felix Fang, how dare you speak to Mr. Yi with such disrespect? Sean roared. So, this was the infamous eunuch of Shanghai, Ethan thought, a strange look on his face as he glanced at Luna. Ah, so it's Eunuch Fang. A pleasure. I never thought I'd have the honor of meeting a real-life eunuch, so many years after the Qing dynasty fell. A wave of murmurs went through the crowd. That kid is crazy. How dare he say that to Felix Fang's face? Who is this guy? He's got guts, I'll give him that. I think he's the guy who bought Fengming Pavilion for 200 million. 200 million is nothing to the Fang family. This kid is dead. Felix's eyes were bloodshot with rage. No one in Shanghai had ever dared to mock him like this. You're the first person to ever say that to my face, he hissed. You're dead. And not just you. Your family, too. I'll make them all die a painful death, right in front of you. A cold fury settled over Ethan. It was clear the Fang family had to go. You're the one who's dead, he said. Your only power comes from your family. Let's see how you act when they're gone. Luna, launch a full-scale attack on the Fang family. Spare no expense. I want them destroyed. With pleasure, Mr. Yi, Luna said, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. The crowd parted as three young men approached. The one in the middle, Tianqin, spoke. Mr. Yi, Felix Fang, I must ask you both to give the Qin family some face and not cause a scene at our event. Otherwise, I will have to ask you to leave. Felix sneered and walked away. The Qin family clearly wasn't on his side. Ethan, feeling a bit guilty for the disruption, was about to leave as well, when a familiar voice called out to him. Brother Ethan, I can't believe it's you. It was Peter Zhao, the young man he had met in Jincheng. Peter, I thought you'd be back in Beijing by now. I heard there was a charity event, so I came to check it out. Let me introduce you. These are my cousins, Tianqin and Lang Qin. A pleasure to meet you both. I'm Ethan Yi, from Jincheng. Seeing that he was a friend of their cousins, the Qin brothers' expressions softened. Since you're a friend of Peter's, why don't you join us upstairs for a chat? Tian invited. In the private reception room upstairs, the scent of sandalwood filled the air. Tianqin led them to a magnificent tea table carved from golden Namu wood. You appreciate this tea table, Brother Yi? He asked, noticing Ethan's admiration. Not particularly. I just appreciate all beautiful things, Ethan replied. Haha, a man of taste. I thought you were a tea connoisseur, Lang Qin joked. Tian shot his brother a look before pouring tea for everyone. Brother Yi, I presume you're the one who invested in the Shin family. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the capital to take on the Fangs. You said you were going to destroy them. Do you have a plan, besides relying on the Shuns? I don't have much of a plan, Mr. Qin. I just have a lot of money. If 10 billion won't bring them down, I'll use 100 billion. If that's not enough, I'll use 1 trillion. I don't believe they can withstand that. The three cousins stared at him, dumbfounded. Was this guy a god of wealth in disguise? Brother Ethan, are you serious? Peter asked. My dad always calls me a spendthrift, but compared to you, I'm nothing. Brother Yi, forgive my forwardness, but which hidden family do you come from? Tian asked respectfully. I can't think of any Yi family with such financial power. Ethan just smiled mysteriously. The system was a secret he had to keep. Would the Qin family be interested in joining the fight against the Fangs? Lang asked cautiously. Sure. I don't really care about the assets. I just enjoy spending money, Ethan said. As long as it didn't interfere with his cashback farming, he was fine with it. Then thank you, Brother Yi, Tian said, overjoyed. Please, enjoy the charity auction later. Of course. Spending money is my favorite hobby. Tian excused himself to go add a few more high-value items to the auction, and Ethan returned to the ballroom. Nina and Elaine immediately fussed over him, checking to make sure he was all right. He then went to the Shun siblings and informed them that the Qin family would also be joining the fight, reiterating his instructions to Luna to spare no expense. Soon, the auction began. The first item, a Qin dynasty vase, sold for 5 million yuan. The second item was a stunning Tiffany diamond necklace called the Eternal Heart, with a starting bid of 80 million. The women in the room gasped. Ethan leaned over to Nina and Elaine. Do you like it? They both nodded eagerly. Then it's yours, he said to Nina, his voice full of emotion. I hope you'll wear it on our wedding day. He then turned to Elaine. You can look at it all you want now, because you won't be seeing it again after tonight. The bidding quickly climbed to 500 million. 1 billion, Ethan said calmly. The room fell silent. No one was willing to challenge that outrageous price. The necklace was his. The next few items didn't interest him, but the final piece caught his attention, a Patek Philippe watch with a dragon motif, custom-made for the last emperor of China, Huai. It was a piece of history. The bidding started at 10 million. Ethan held up 5 fingers. Mr. Yi bids 50 million, the auctioneer announced. Ethan shook his head. You misunderstood. I'm not bidding 50 million. I'm bidding 5 billion. The auctioneer's jaw dropped. After confirming the bid, he brought the hammer down with a resounding crack. The auction raised a total of 23 billion, with Ethan alone contributing 6 billion. His name would be all over the news tomorrow. In the back room, after settling the payment and receiving his cash back, Ethan and the girls were once again invited to the reception room by the Qin brothers. Brother Yi, thank you for your incredible generosity. On behalf of the countless women and children we'll be able to help. Thank you, Tian said, his voice full of gratitude. You're so cool, Brother Ethan. Peter exclaimed. I finally see the difference between us. You spend your money for a good cause. I'm just a profligate son. If I spent 5 billion on a watch, my dad would break my legs, charity or not. Elaine burst out laughing. Hey, watch your image. How are you ever going to get married? Ethan teased. I think Elaine is great. We should become sworn siblings, Peter declared. Tion promptly smacked him on the back of the head. If you don't have anything sensible to say, then shut up. I see Uncle doesn't hit you enough. Keep it up, and I'll take care of it for him. He then turned to Ethan. Don't mind him, brother Yi. He's an idiot. It's fine. I can take a joke, Ethan said with a laugh. Seeing that his cousin was about to get a real beating, Ethan quickly made his excuses and left. On the way back to Thompson Riviera, a large truck suddenly swerved into their lane, heading straight for them. Ethan wrenched the steering wheel, but it was too late. The impact sent their G-Wagon flying. When he came to, the sounds of sirens filled the air. He frantically checked on Nina and Elaine in the back seat. They were both shaken but seemed to be unharmed. He then checked himself. Apart from a warm sensation in his chest, he was fine. He opened his suit jacket and saw that one of the defensive talismans he had placed in his pocket had turned to ash. It had saved his life. The paramedics were amazed to find that none of them had any serious injuries, despite the severity of the crash. At the police station, they were told that the truck driver, who had been drunk and had run a red light, had died on impact. The case was closed, but Ethan knew it wasn't an accident. He called Tian Chin. Brother Tian, I need your help. Anything, Brother Yi. Just say the word. After explaining the situation, Tian came and picked them up, taking them to a presidential suite at the Oriental Pearl Hotel. After settling the girls in, Ethan met him in the reception room. The driver received a 5 million yuan transfer from an anonymous overseas account 2 hours before the crash, Tian said, his face grim. It was almost certainly the Fangs. Ethan's expression turned to ice. He handed Tian an envelope. Brother Tian, please have this delivered to Owen Yi, the head of Cosmic Investment in Jincheng. It's urgent. I'll have someone take it there immediately. It will be in his hands by morning, Tian promised. Back in his room, Ethan gave Nina and Elaine each a small sachet containing a defensive talisman. Keep these with you at all times, he said, not wanting to frighten them with the truth. He then called Luna Shun. Luna, it's Ethan. Launch a full-scale attack on the Fangs. Spare no expense. I'm sending you more funds. I want them destroyed. He told her about the car crash, and she immediately understood the urgency. He then transferred another 800 billion yuan to her. Alone in his room, Ethan took out the marrow-cleansing pills. The path of cultivation was an unknown, but after tonight's brush with death, he knew he needed more power. He swallowed one of the pills. An excruciating pain shot through him, as if millions of ants were devouring him from the inside out. He clenched his jaw, refusing to scream. After what felt like an eternity, the pain subsided, replaced by a warm current flowing through his body. A layer of black, foul-smelling crystals had formed on his skin. He stood up, and the crystals shattered, revealing a new, flawless physique. He felt stronger, and his senses were sharper than ever before. After a thorough shower, he sat on his bed and began to study the chaos scripture. Information flooded his mind, explaining the different realms of cultivation, from chi refinement to the Great Ascension. He circulated his spiritual energy and felt it increase by a minuscule amount. In this age of depleted spiritual energy, cultivation was incredibly difficult. The marrow-cleansing pill had already boosted him to the peak of the chi refinement realm. He wondered where that placed him in the hierarchy of martial artists. He would have to ask Owen. The next morning, a call from Owen woke him. Brother Yi, someone delivered an envelope from you this morning. Those are 2 defensive talismans, Brother Owen. Please get them to my parents as soon as possible and tell them to keep them on their person at all times. Owen was stunned. Defensive talismans were the stuff of legends, from the age of cultivators. I'll take care of it right away, he promised. Ethan then asked if he knew any martial artists for hire. Owen explained that martial artists valued things that could enhance their strength, pills, weapons, and spiritual treasures, far more than money. He also told Ethan that the Foundation establishment realm of cultivators was roughly equivalent to the post-celestial realm of martial artists. That meant Ethan, at the peak of the chi refinement realm, was probably at the peak of the internal strength realm. It was time to go to the university and get his graduation certificate. It might not mean much to him now in terms of a career, but it was the culmination of 4 years of hard work, and that was something to be proud of. At the entrance to the university, a wave of nostalgia washed over Ethan. For years had flown by. Nina, sensing his melancholy, squeezed his hand. Graduation isn't just an end, Ethan. It's a new beginning. He smiled and took her hand, and they walked into the campus, leaving a pouting Elaine to trail behind them. His roommate, Dylan, called him. Where are you, man? We're all in the auditorium, waiting for you. They hurried over and found their friends. After a round of introductions, they all took their seats, dressed in their caps and gowns. The graduation ceremony began with a speech from the principal, followed by the valedictorian. Then, one by one, the students went on stage to receive their diplomas. We're graduates, Dylan exclaimed. Tonight, we celebrate. My treat. No one is going home sober. All right, where are we going? Wayne asked. Someplace nice. I've already made arrangements, Ethan said. Let me treat you guys tonight. My place. Okay, we'll let you off the hook this time for not telling us you had a girlfriend, Wayne joked. But you're paying for everything. After the ceremony, Ethan called Bianca and told her to prepare a banquet for his friends. He then sent the address to his roommates. Where are we going now, brother? Elaine asked. You've dragged me around all morning. How are you going to make it up to me? I'll treat you to the cafeteria, he teased. After a quick bite, he said, all right, let's go car shopping. I got you a present a while back, but I never had a chance to give it to them. They took a taxi to a Mercedes-Benz dealership. It was having a big sales event, and the place was packed. He asked the receptionist for Lily Lynn, the saleswoman who had helped him before. She was fired, the receptionist said, then lowered her voice. A powerful client kept harassing her, so the boss had to let her go. She's working at the dealership across the street now, but I heard he's been bothering her there too. Ethan's jaw tightened. They went across the street and found a man yelling at Lily. It was Victor Wong. Without a second thought, Ethan walked over and kicked him to the ground. He had controlled his strength, but the kick was still powerful enough to send Victor sprawling. Still bullying women, I see. Ethan said, his voice laced with contempt. If you have a problem, take it up with me. Lying on the floor, Victor looked up and saw him. His eyes filled with a mixture of hatred and fear. He had been looking for a chance to get revenge on Ethan, and had been taking his frustration out on the saleswoman who had helped him. Chapter 41. Victor Wong yelled, Ethan, you little bastard, how dare you kick me? You think I'm easy to bully? Ethan's voice was cold. I let you off last time. Believe me, today I'll make you really get on your knees and bark like a dog. Victor looked at Ethan with contempt. He'd had someone investigate Ethan and found he was just an ordinary college student from a regular family. He didn't know how Ethan could afford a G-Wagon, but he couldn't possibly compare to him. Stop pretending, Ethan. Let's see how you handle this. Boys, get him. Victor's 3 goons charged at Ethan. With a dismissive smile, Ethan delivered 3 swift kicks, and the 3 men fell to the ground in a neat row. Victor stared dumbfounded. How could Ethan fight so well? As Ethan walked toward him, a terrified Victor immediately dropped to his knees and started barking. The scene took Ethan by surprise. This wasn't how the script was supposed to go. Shouldn't he have fought to the bitter end? Victor trembled, asking if he could leave now that he was done barking. Ethan was taken aback by his spinelessness. You're a piece of work, that's for sure. Get out of here. Victor scrambled to his feet and ran, not even glancing back at his fallen comrades. Lily Lynn thanked Ethan profusely. She'd been harassed by Victor for days and was about to quit and go back to her hometown. Ethan felt a pang of guilt. Don't thank me. This is my fault. I should be the one apologizing. Now, how about you do your job and show me some cars? He decided to buy a few more cars from her to make up for the trouble. She led the 3 of them to the luxury car section. On a separate platform, a car that looked like a sculpted piece of art caught Ethan's eye. He walked over, his hand tracing the pure black bodywork. Lily immediately began her introduction. Mr. Yi, this is a Bugatti Night Elf from the Bugatti Night series. Each car in the series is one of a kind. It has an 8.0-liter W16 quad-turbo engine, producing 1,500 horsepower, and goes from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. The price is 150 million yuan. Before she could continue, Ethan waved his hand. I'll take it. Let's look at the others. To Lily, it was as if he was spending $15, not 150 million. From a distance, Elaine called out, Brother, come look. This car is so pretty. You should buy it for Nina. She has a license. She could teach me. They walked over to a Maserati Quattroporte. Again, before Lily could even begin her pitch, Ethan said he'd take it, telling Nina she couldn't refuse. Elaine chimed in, leaving Nina no choice but to accept. In the end, Ethan bought a Bugatti Night Elf, a Maserati Quattroporte, a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, a Porsche Cayenne, and a Mercedes S350. Lily was in awe. He shopped for cars like he was at a grocery market. After paying and getting his system cash back, Ethan and Nina drove off in the Bugatti and Maserati, respectively, with the other cars to be delivered to the Cloud9 villa. Ethan gave Nina the address, telling her to follow the navigation and to drive safely. The 2 supercars crawling through the streets of Shanghai drew a lot of attention, with onlookers speculating whether the driver of the one-of-a-kind Bugatti was a bad driver or just showing off. Finally, they arrived at the Cloud9 villa. Elaine was amazed by the beautiful surroundings, assuming it was a high-end private restaurant. Ethan just smiled, telling them they were in for a treat, mentioning the swimming pool and other amenities inside. He had paid a fortune for this place, and it was fully equipped. Chapter 42. At the main gate, Bianca and the staff were lined up to greet them. The number of staff had grown. Bianca had clearly hired extra help for the evening's dinner party. Welcome home, Mr. Yi. The banquet is nearly ready and can begin at any time, she said respectfully. Ethan told her they'd have to wait for his friends. Just then, a system notification sounded in his mind. Luna must have started her move against the Fangs. Congratulations, host. You spent 76 billion yuan. A cashback of 7.6 trillion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Congratulations, host. Your accumulated cashback has reached 9 trillion yuan, triggering an additional reward. 1 system space, 1 bottle of breakthrough pills, 1 bottle of spirit gathering pills, 5 detox pills, 1 bottle of marrow cleansing pills, the complete chaos sword scripture, 10 mid-tier defensive talismans, 10 mid-tier attack talismans, and 100 supreme grade spirit stones. All items have been stored in your system space. Ethan was ecstatic. This was a game changer. These resources could not only boost his own power, but also help him cultivate a team of experts. He mentally asked the system about the space and the spirit stones. The system explained that the space couldn't hold living things without an upgrade, and that spirit stones could be directly absorbed to increase spiritual power during cultivation. Back in reality, he led the girls into the villa. Elaine was overjoyed, exclaiming that it was even more luxurious than their villa in Jincheng. Nina was still curious, asking if it was a private restaurant. Ethan laughed, reminding them of Bianca's welcome. This is my home. You two can come and play whenever you want. He then asked Bianca where the documents Sam's son had delivered were. She offered to get them, but he decided to go to the study himself. He told her to expect several car deliveries, and that the Kian and the Mercedes were for the staff's daily use. In the study, he handed an envelope to Elaine. Inside was a bright red property deed. Her eyes lit up when she saw it. Brother, you're the best. I love you. I'm a 9-figure heiress now, she squealed. It was the deed to the Thompson Riviera apartment directly above Ethan's. She immediately tried to convince Nina to move in with her, so she wouldn't be lonely. Ethan realized he had just shot himself in the foot. He'd hoped to get the third wheel out of his apartment, not have her take his girlfriend with her. He jokingly threatened to take the apartment back. Nina, however, politely declined, saying her parents wouldn't approve of her living off campus. At this, Ethan turned serious, telling Nina he wanted to formally visit her parents whenever she thought it was a good time. Nina was thrilled. This meant he was serious about their relationship. Just then, Bianca knocked. His friends had arrived. He went downstairs to greet them. His roommates were gawking at the villa. Wayne was already calculating how much a dinner here would cost. Dylan, ever the sharpest, noted that it didn't seem like a restaurant. Ethan grinned. The boss is right. This isn't a private kitchen. I bought it a while ago. You could say it's my house. Make yourselves at home. Go wild. Chris joked, asking if Ethan had been bought by a rich sugar mommy. Ethan played along. I tried to live a normal life, but it only pushed you away. I'm done hiding. I'm a trillionaire. They all laughed, the easy camaraderie between them unchanged by his newfound wealth. He took them down to the wine cellar in the basement to pick out their drinks for the night. The four of them returned to the dining room carrying 2 bottles of 1976 Matai and 2 cases of beer. You dog, Wayne grumbled. So extravagant. I've never seen a villa with an elevator before. Just for that, I'm drinking you under the table tonight. Ethan boasted. If you guys can get me drunk tonight, I'll change my last name. As a cultivator at the peak of chi refinement, being out-drunk by mortals would be a true disgrace. They took their seats, the table laden with an incredible feast. Wayne immediately requested a couple of boxes of caviar, then noted something was missing. Ethan slapped his forehead and had Bianca prepare a smashed cucumber salad and some fried peanuts, essential drinking snacks. Ethan raised his glass. Brothers, today we graduated. We'll be going our separate ways, and who knows when we'll see each other again. Let's toast to our brotherhood. May it last forever. They all downed their drinks. Dylan was about to propose another toast when Wayne stopped him, pointing out the mountain of food. Dylan laughed and put his glass down, then made an announcement. I'm getting married in the second half of the year. You all have to be there. Chris was surprised. He hadn't even known Dylan had a girlfriend. Dylan explained that it was an arranged marriage with his childhood friend. He wasn't sure if he loved her, but he felt comfortable with her, and that was enough. They toasted to his future happiness. As the alcohol flowed, the conversation turned to their post-graduation plans. Dylan, slightly tipsy, offered Chris a job in the Northeast if his plan to become a civil servant didn't work out. Chris was touched, but said he had to try for the government job first. It was what his parents in his home province had their hearts set on. Wayne, munching on a king crab leg, looked at Dylan with mock hurt. What about me? You didn't even ask me. You've already decided to stay in Shanghai. Dylan retorted. Besides, Ethan's here. You'd be a fool not to latch onto this big shot. Ethan drained his glass. The boss is calling me out. Let me say something. We've been together for 4 years. We've supported each other. To me, you're the brothers I chose for myself. So I'm saying this now. If any of you ever have trouble and don't tell me, I'll hunt you down and slap you silly. His words were heartfelt. Brotherhood was a bond forged in shared experience, a warmth that transcended blood or personal gain. Wayne, why don't you come work for me? Ethan offered seriously. I've started an investment company here. A top student from our university is a hot commodity. You can train under Lunashan for a couple of years, and you'll be ready to run things on your own. Wayne, who was unhappy with his internship, readily agreed, asking if there were any pretty women at the company. Ethan laughed. There's a real beauty, but it's up to you if you can win her over. She'll be your direct supervisor. They toasted to Wayne's future romantic success. As the night wore on, the three of them got progressively drunker, but none wanted to leave the table, perhaps fearing it would be a long time before they would all be together again. Eventually, they all passed out. Ethan refused Bianca's help and carried each of his brothers to a guest room. Meanwhile, in a traditional manner across Shanghai, Hongye Fong, the patriarch of the Fong family, was screaming at his son, Zhongyi Fong. Do you know that the Fong family's assets have shrunk by a third in a single day? 136 of our 200 downstream suppliers have stopped shipments. Tell me why. Zhongyi, his head bowed and sweating, knew this was because of his younger son, Felix. Father, I believe we are under attack from the Shin family. Hongye was livid. You believe? Is that how you handle things? The family is suffering massive losses, and you can't even confirm who's responsible? You're useless. He hurled a teacup at his son, who didn't dare to move as the hot tea scalded his face. Just then, a sharp, capable woman entered the room. It was Zhongyi's sister, Minghua Fong. She walked directly to her father, her presence commanding. Father, I've investigated. The attack was launched by Luna Shun. She has completely acquired those 136 suppliers and is in negotiations with the rest. She has also acquired over 15% of our family's shares on the open market. Hongye Fong's face grew darker. Impossible. The Shuns are a second-rate family. How could they have this kind of capital? Tell me what's really going on. Minghua glanced sympathetically at her brother. Father, at the Qin family's charity gala yesterday, Felix had a major conflict with a young man named Ethan Yi. Ethan is very close to the Shuns. We can confirm that he is the one who instructed Luna to target us. I also found out that Ethan was in a car accident last night, likely arranged by Felix. And through my contacts, I've learned that a massive amount of funds, likely 1 trillion yuan, was transferred into Luna Shin's account. The patriarch collapsed into his chair as if all the strength had been drained from him. 1 trillion yuan, 5 times his family's total assets. It was enough to crush them completely. In a trembling voice, he asked if there was any way to save the family. Minghua shook her head. Their only option was to cut their losses. I suggest we liquidate all our assets, sell all our shares, and immigrate. If we delay, we'll have nothing left. Zhongyi immediately objected. I disagree. We are one of the 4 great families of Shanghai. We can't retreat without a fight. The patriarch roared at him to shut up, blaming him for his useless son. He then turned to Minghua, asking meekly, if I personally take Felix to apologize to Ethan, is there a chance? Minghua thought for a moment. It's possible, father. But you must be prepared to give up Felix, and the price will be unimaginable. Very well, the old man said, suddenly looking ancient. Contact him. Tell him I will visit him tomorrow to apologize in person. Outside, Zhongyi confronted his sister, unable to understand why they had to grovel when they had powerful allies and government connections. Minghua explained, Brother, I told you Ethan was in a car accident. I saw the photos. The car was destroyed, but the people inside were completely unharmed. Do you understand what that means? The realization dawned on Zhongyi. He's a martial artist. Minghua nodded. I suspect he's a martial artist from a hidden family, likely at the Grandmaster level. We should be thankful he's using conventional means against us and not attacking directly. If father's apology fails tomorrow, the Fong family is doomed. Back at the Cloud9 villa, Ethan returned to his room and took out a bottle of breakthrough pills from his system space. Tonight, he would advance to the Foundation establishment realm. He swallowed a pill, and soon, an immense power gathered within him. A violent tremor shook his body as something inside him shattered. A powerful energy burst from his dantian, breaking through his mortal limits. He had reached the Foundation establishment realm. His body, mind, and perception of the world's spiritual energy were all greatly enhanced. His spiritual sense could now extend 100 meters, observing everything around him in high definition. He scanned Nina's room, his heart skipping a beat at the sight of her graceful figure. His gaze fell upon a black birthmark on her left calf, and a strange, powerful sense of familiarity washed over him, like a forgotten promise from a distant past. The effort made him dizzy, and his spiritual sense snapped back. He realized he couldn't sustain it for long periods. Once he recovered, he accessed the system. System, used Chaos Sword Scripture. With his enhanced power, he absorbed the ancient and powerful sword technique with only a mild statome. He then examined the spirit-gathering pills, a vital resource for cultivation, before swallowing 3 and beginning to absorb the massive spiritual energy they released. Ethan rapidly absorbed the spiritual energy, and the thread of chaotic power in his dantian grew from the size of a hair to the thickness of his little finger. The 3 pills were only fully consumed when he broke through to the mid-foundation establishment stage. He was thrilled. His power was now comparable to a peak Grandmaster martial artist. A system notification chimed. Congratulations, host. You spent 35 billion yuan. A cashback of 3.5 trillion yuan has been deposited into your black card account ending in 8888. Congratulations, host. Your accumulated cashback has reached 10 trillion yuan. The system store is now unlocked. Cash back will no longer be issued as cash. For every 100 million yuan spent, you will receive 1 point. The system will now begin upgrading. Estimated completion time, 1 hour. Ethan was ecstatic. The system store was finally unlocked. It seemed Luna's assault on the Fangs was going smoothly. With the system upgrading, Ethan took another peek at Nina with his spiritual sense before falling asleep. The next morning, Ethan eagerly opened the system store. The first tab was currency exchange, 10 billion yuan for 1 point, the same as before. There were pills, techniques, and weapons of all kinds, with prices ranging from 10 points to a staggering 10 billion points. Ethan wanted to buy everything, but had 0 points. Ethan saw the space core needed to upgrade his system space, but the price tag, 1 million points, made his eyes water. He needed to spend money faster. Then Ethan saw something he desperately needed, a shadow guard. For 200 points, he could acquire a guard with the strength of an early-stage grandmaster, capable of melting into any shadow. Protecting his family was his top priority. A scan of the villa with Ethan's spiritual sense revealed that Nina was already up, while Elaine and his 3 roommates were still fast asleep. When Nina came out of her room, Ethan pulled her into a passionate kiss. "You're so beautiful, Nina. I feel like I love you more every day." Nina blushed, playfully telling Ethan not to miss her too much while she was studying for her upcoming exams. Ethan held her close, reminding her about his wish to visit her parents. Nina had forgotten, but promised to go home that very day to talk to them. After she left in her new Maserati, Elaine came downstairs, asking where Nina had gone. Hearing she'd gone home, Elaine pouted, saying she'd wanted Nina to go shopping with her. Elaine then rubbed her fingers together in a familiar gesture to Ethan. Ethan sighed, feeling more like her father than her brother, and transferred 20 million yuan to Elaine. Elaine skipped out of the villa happily. After a quick breakfast, Ethan called Luna Shun. He asked if she needed more funds. On the other end of the line, Luna rolled her eyes. With the capital Ethan had given her, Luna could take on a corporate giant like Tencent, let alone the Fang family. Ethan's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. After we're done with the Fangs, let's prepare to acquire Tencent. Don't worry about the money." Luna nearly choked. Luna had been speaking hypothetically, but Ethan had taken her seriously. Before Luna could object, Ethan changed the subject. Ethan asked if Luna could meet with his friend, Wayne Wong, and take him under her wing at the new company. After a moment of thought, Luna Shun replied, "Mr. Yi, I've acquired a building, Qingji Tower, to serve as the headquarters for Cosmic Investment." After hanging up, Ethan received the location. It was in the financial district of Shanghai's new area, about a half-hour drive away. Around noon, Dylan, Chris, and Wayne finally woke up. They were shocked to see Ethan sitting on the sofa, casually scrolling through his phone. "Ethan, I remember you drank just as much as we did yesterday. How come you look completely fine?" Dylan asked, bewildered. "Yeah, you used to be the first one to pass out. Now you've outdrunk all 3 of us. I've brought shame to my home province," Chris added. Wayne immediately chimed in. "How dare you speak to my boss like that? It's perfectly normal for Mr. Yi to drink us under the table." "Hey, Ethan, when are we going to meet my beautiful supervisor?" His sycophantic remark earned him a playful beating from Dylan and Chris. "You shameless suck-up. How's our massage technique? Feel good? Ethan, you better work this guy to the bone, or he'll fall for the first pretty face he sees." Watching his friends roughhousing, Ethan laughed. "Don't worry, Wayne's good days are over. His new boss is a real powerhouse. So, where are you 2 headed? I can give you a ride." Knowing Ethan was taking Wayne to meet Luna, Dylan and Chris declined the offer. Ethan checked the time and called for Wayne to get ready. They headed to the garage. Wayne's jaw dropped at the sight of the sleek, black hypercar. "Is this a Bugatti? Dude, you're living the high life. What model is this?" "Never mind, I'll look it up." Wayne pulled out his phone and used an app to identify the car. Once they were inside, Wayne said slowly, "Ethan, I thought Dylan's family owning a mine was the peak of wealth I'd ever see. But you're the real wolf in sheep's clothing. A tycoon who lives in a villa and drives a hypercar, and you used to steal my instant noodles in the dorm. You didn't even leave me the sausage I was saving." Ethan patted his shoulder reassuringly. "My bad, Wayne. I'll buy you a whole case of noodles and sausages later. Whatever you want." They arrived at Qingji Tower, laughing and joking the whole way. As Ethan parked, Wayne stared at the building's entrance. "Ethan, look. There's a beautiful woman over there. Her figure, her face. At least a 9. 5 out of 10. And those legs. I'd kneel on a washboard every day if I could marry a woman like that." Ethan followed Wayne's gaze and saw Luna Shun standing there. A mischievous idea popped into Ethan's head. "Go for it, Wayne. With your charm, she won't stand a chance. Go on, charge forward for love. I've got your back." Spurred on by Ethan's encouragement, Wayne smoothed his hair and confidently strode towards Luna. Ethan watched from the car, grinning. Wayne's face when Wayne found out this beauty was his future boss would be priceless. Ethan used his spiritual sense to observe them. When Ethan saw Luna's expression darken and her posture shift as if she was about to strike, Ethan quickly got out of the car. Ethan had almost forgotten Sean mentioning that Luna was the one who had kicked Felix Fong into becoming a eunuch. Ethan hurried over. Luna, this is my friend, Wayne Wong. He'll be learning under you from now on. Wayne, this is the CEO of Cosmic Investment, Luna's Shun. Make sure you learn well from her. Wayne's face cycled through shades of green and white. Wayne gritted his teeth. Ethan, you set me up. Ethan pretended not to hear Wayne and turned to Luna with a warm smile. Luna, it's a bit hot out here. Shall we go inside to talk? Ethan and Luna took the elevator to the top-floor CEO's office. Seeing Luna was still visibly annoyed, Ethan apologized. I'm sorry, Luna. I was just trying to pull a little prank and also show you Wayne's personality. He can be a bit impulsive. You'll have to be strict with him. Luna's expression finally softened. Let's just forget it, mister. Yee. But please, no more jokes like that. Now for business. Luna acquired 142 of the Fong family's downstream suppliers and cut off their cooperation. Luna also acquired 17% of their shares. Their assets have shrunk by a third. It will take about a week to deal a devastating blow to the Fong group, and at least a month to completely dismantle the family. Ethan was impressed. You've done a great job. What's the next step for the company? Luna explained that the company was still understaffed. Luna had hired headhunters and partnered with top law and accounting firms to handle their legal and financial affairs. The company would be fully operational in 2 days. Ethan suggested acquiring the firms entirely to form in-house departments and to offer higher salaries to attract top talent. Luna agreed. I'll get it done. As for Wayne, I'll be assigning him to cleaning duty for a month. Do you have any objections? Ethan ignored Wayne's protests and agreed to the arrangement. Ethan then suggested buying 2 nearby residential buildings that weren't yet on the market to use as employee dormitories, with the property title transferring to employees after 15 years of service. Luna immediately had her secretary contact the developer and take Wayne to the janitorial department to report for duty. Ethan could only offer a helpless shrug in response to Wayne's betrayed look as Wayne was led away. In a residential complex in the Shanghai suburbs, a group of middle-aged women were gossiping in the garden. One of them, a stout woman with a prominent mole on her lip, leaned in conspiratorially. Last week, I saw old Zhang's daughter come home in a new BMW 5 Series. I heard her future son-in-law gave it to her. Wow, the Zhangs have really made it, marrying their daughter to a rich man. The stout woman scoffed. Made it? Please. Her fiancé is 2 years older than her father. I heard old Zhang nearly had a heart attack. Oh my, that's big news. No wonder we haven't seen the Zhangs around lately. They're too embarrassed to show their faces. Another woman sighed. Kids these days, always looking for the easy way out. Jean, your Nina is getting older too. You have to keep a close eye on her. Jean Yang, who was Nina Lee's mother, dismissed the warning. My Nina isn't like that. She's a good girl, very obedient. In fact, she said she was coming home to visit me today. Just as they were talking, Nina pulled up in her Maserati. After parking, she saw her mother in the garden and called out for her to come home. As the mother and daughter walked away, the woman with the mole sneered. Look at Jean, so sure of herself. Well, that backfired quickly. Her daughter drove back in a Maserati. That car costs at least $2 million. I only know because I saw one when I was matchmaking for someone. Haha, looks like the Lee family is in for some drama. I wonder if Jean will dare to show her face tomorrow. What do you even call a son-in-law who's older than you? Does he call her mom, while she calls him big brother? Inside their apartment, Jean stared hard at her daughter. She had been too embarrassed to ask in front of the others. Nina, how did you get that car? If you've done something shameful out there, believe me, I will break your legs. Nina was completely baffled. Mom, what are you talking about? You know your own daughter. What could I have possibly done? That car is a gift from my boyfriend. That's what I came home to talk to you about. Just then, her father, Charlie Lee, returned from grocery shopping. Seeing the tense atmosphere, he asked what was wrong. Your daughter has a boyfriend, and you don't even care. Jean snapped. It's normal for her to have a boyfriend, Charlie said nonchalantly. She's not a kid anymore. We were married by her age. You old fool, you know nothing. Jean fumed. She drove home in a car worth over $2 million that her boyfriend supposedly gave her. Let's see if you're still smiling when she brings home a son-in-law older than you. Nina finally understood why her mother was so angry. The thought of Ethan being mistaken for a 50-year-old man was so absurd, she couldn't help but laugh. Her mother pointed a finger at her, furious. You think this is funny? I'm telling you, Nina, I don't approve. If you still consider me your mother, you will return that car and break up with him immediately. Trying to stifle her laughter, Nina explained. Mom, you've got it all wrong. Why would I date an old man? My boyfriend is a senior from my university. He's 2 years older than me and just graduated. Her father, relieved, turned to his wife. See? You fly off the handle without getting the facts straight. You should spend less time with those gossips. Knowing she had misunderstood, Jean sent her husband to the kitchen to cook. She then sat down with Nina, her tone much softer, and asked about her new boyfriend. Nina described Ethan as handsome and capable, and told her mother that he wanted to visit them. Her father, poking his head out from the kitchen, said any time was fine. After they agreed that Ethan would visit after Nina's exams, her mother had one last instruction. When you bring him, make sure you walk him around the neighborhood a few times. Nina was confused, but her mother explained. After you drove up today, who knows what rumors those women are spreading? Your father's right. I need to spend less time with them. Meanwhile, at the Fong family estate, the patriarch, Harrison Fong, anxiously asked his daughter, Melinda, for news. Father, she said, I've just received word. Mr. Yi is currently at Qingji Tower, meeting with Luna Shun. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Melinda stopped him. Father, are you prepared for this? We might have to sacrifice Felix, and the family will lose the vast majority of its assets. I still think selling everything and moving abroad is the better option. The old man sighed. I know. I had Mr. Yi investigated. All records show he's an ordinary person. But how can an ordinary person have such power? You may not know this, but old Master Yin told me that one of Mr. Ye's subordinates in Jincheng, a man named Owen Yi, is a peak internal strength martial artist. That man alone could destroy our family. We can't escape. Our only choice is to seek peace. Hearing her father's words, Melinda no longer tried to stop him. Old Master Yin was the head of a martial arts family with a 300-year history. If he said so, it must be true. Her suspicion was correct. Mr. Yi was a grandmaster. In the CEO's office at Qingji Tower, Luna was outlining her next steps to Ethan when her secretary knocked. Her secretary knocked. Ms. Shun, Mr. Harrison Fong and Ms. Melinda Fong are downstairs. They are requesting a meeting with you and Chairman Yi. Luna looked at Ethan, who nodded his assent. He was curious. I thought you wouldn't see them. Is it because of Melinda Fong? Yes, Luna admitted. If it were just Harrison Fong, I wouldn't see him. But I can't refuse Melinda. We were once best friends. After that incident, she did a lot behind the scenes to help. Otherwise, the Shin family might not exist today. I hate the Fong family, but I don't hate her. A few moments later, the secretary showed them in. Harrison Fong bowed deeply to Ethan. Mr. Yi, you are truly a man of exceptional talent. My family has greatly offended you. I have come to offer my sincerest apologies. I beg you to show mercy and spare us. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Mr. Fong, do you think a few simple words are enough to make me let you off the hook? If I weren't capable, I would already be dead at your family's hands. Harrison knew it wouldn't be that easy. He sighed. Mr. Yi, the car accident was the sole act of Felix Fong. The rest of the family was unaware. Felix is downstairs right now. You may do with him as you please. The family will not interfere. Additionally, I am willing to offer 90% of the Fong family's assets as compensation. Ethan glanced at Luna, who gave a slight nod. Mr. Fong, I am a law-abiding citizen. I don't engage in murder and robbery. Rest assured, Mr. Yi, my family is willing to sell 90% of our assets to you for the price of 1 yuan. As for Felix, he will be going on a yacht trip tomorrow to do some fishing. As you know, the seas can be rough. Accidents happen. Ethan was satisfied with his attitude, but the 1 yuan price tag wouldn't get him any system points. He made his own proposal. Mr. Fong, I will acquire all of your family's assets at their market value. However, you will donate 90% of the proceeds to charity. Otherwise, the consequences will be severe. He had Luna and Melinda draw up a list of assets. The total came to just over 130 billion yuan. Ethan had Luna transfer 140 billion, gleefully anticipating the 1,400 points he would receive. He immediately opened the system store and purchased 4 shadow guards. The safety of his family was now guaranteed. But in his excitement, he forgot he wasn't alone. 4 figures clad in black suddenly materialized in the office, their chilling presence freezing everyone in the room. Ethan, embarrassed by his oversight, quickly barked an order. Shadow guards, sheath your aura. Conceal yourselves. The figures instantly vanished. The 2 women collapsed onto the floor in shock. Ethan rushed to help them to the sofa. He turned to the trembling old man. My apologies. My subordinates are poorly disciplined. Harrison Fong, barely able to stand, knew this was a warning. No, Mr. Yi. They must have sensed a threat. You must also be careful of your own safety. Melinda, who had recovered slightly, asked in a hushed tone, Mr. Yi, are your subordinates grandmasters? Ethan nodded. All shadow guards are at least at the grandmaster level, so it would be best if the Fong family doesn't try any tricks. You will regret it. Hearing his threat, the father and daughter didn't dare show any resentment and quickly took their leave. Luna, pale and shaken, looked at Ethan as if seeing him for the first time. Mr. Yi, is that the power of a martial artist? It's terrifying. For a moment, I felt like my body was going to be torn apart. You know about martial artists? Ethan asked, surprised. A little, she said. My father once told me he met a martial artist in his youth who could punch through a tree trunk. That must have been an internal strength practitioner, Ethan thought. He advised her to stay away from the world of martial artists if she could, then told her to focus on absorbing the Fong family's assets and to look after Wang. He had other matters to attend to. As he got into his car, he received a call from Peter Zhao. Brother Ethan, you busy? Want to go out and have some fun tonight? I found a great place. What kind of great place are we talking about? Ethan asked with a laugh. Is it shady? You underestimate me, brother. I may be a spendthrift, but I'm not vulgar. The place I'm talking about is like an ancient pleasure house. That sounds exactly the same. You want me to tell your cousin on you? No, you've got the wrong idea. The high-class pleasure houses of old were about art, not selling their bodies. The women there were masters of music, chess, calligraphy, and painting. Of course, if you were talented enough to win one of their hearts, well, anything could happen. Intrigued, Ethan agreed to go. He returned to the Cloud9 villa to wait, wondering what to get Nina's parents as a gift. Ethan's thoughts were interrupted by Elaine's shout. Brother, come help me. I have too much stuff. I can't carry it all. He looked up to see his sister laden with shopping bags and sighed. How did she get into Shanghai University? Do you want to help her? Elaine, why didn't you just have them deliver it here? Are you really that dense? She blinked at him. You can do that? Nobody told me. If I'd known, I would have bought more. He ignored her and had Bianca take the bags upstairs while he went to the study. He summoned the shadow guards. 2 male guards, Shadow 1 and Shadow 2, appeared before him. You two are to go to Jincheng immediately and protect my parents. Do not let any harm come to them. They acknowledged the order and vanished into the shadows. The 2 female guards, Shadow 3 and Shadow 4, were assigned to protect Elaine and Nina. Around 6 in the evening, Bianca knocked on the study door. Mr. Peter Zhao is here. He says you have an appointment. Ethan went downstairs to meet him. Peter was excited. Brother Ethan, I've booked a spot. Let's go? You're going to love this place. Elaine, who had been snacking in the kitchen, rushed over. Peter, where are you taking my brother? Can I come? I don't know any fun places here. Peter boasted. Elaine, I found an amazing place. It's full of beautiful, talented women. It's just like the pleasure houses of ancient times. Ethan facepalmed. This oaf, spilling the beans in front of his sister. He was doomed. Elaine stared at him, her eyes narrowed. Brother, you've gotten bold. Going to a pleasure house? You want me to tell Mom and Nina? I can't believe you're that kind of person. Peter, realizing his mistake, quickly explained the nature of the establishment. Elaine was still suspicious. I feel like you two are trying to trick me. Fine, I'm coming with you. Otherwise, I'm telling on you. So, Ethan had no choice but to bring her along. They drove to a secluded estate in the suburbs, a tranquil paradise far from the city's hustle. They arrived at a beautiful 2-story building. The plaque above the door read, Qing Lu, which literally translated to Green Pavilion, but historically meant a high-class house of courtesans. Inside, they were led to a private room on the 2nd floor with a perfect view of the stage below. As food was served, Elaine commented, Brother, this isn't what I imagined a pleasure house would be like. Peter explained, Elaine, you've been misled by TV dramas. The places where women rush out to greet customers are common brothels. A true Qing Lu was a refined place where scholars and artists gathered to discuss poetry and music. Some of the top courtesans were not just beautiful, but as brilliant as top scholars. As night fell, a man and a woman in ancient costumes took the stage, one with a zither, the other with a flute. They played a beautiful, heroic melody that filled the hall with the spirit of ancient martial arts epics. Even Elaine stopped eating to watch, captivated. After the performance, a striking woman in a traditional horseface skirt came on stage. Welcome, friends. I am your host tonight, Serena Xia. As you might have guessed from the music, our theme tonight is Jianghu, the world of martial heroes. So, my first question is simple. What is Jianghu? Elaine shouted from the window. I know. A great man once said, Jianghu isn't about fighting and killing. It's about human connection and obligation. Serena smiled up at her. An excellent answer from the beautiful lady upstairs. Tonight, we invite you to compose a poem on the theme of the bonds of Jianghu. The poem that most impresses my lady, Flora Hua, will win its author a private meeting with her. A buzz went through the crowd. Everyone had heard of the legendary beauty of Flora Hua, but no one had ever seen her. Elaine turned to Ethan. Brother, as a top student from Shanghai University, aren't you going to write a poem and meet this famous beauty? Don't even think about it, he said. If I did that, you'd report me so fast my head would spin. I'd like to live a few more years, thank you. Peter leaned over, whispering, Brother Ethan, how about you write a poem for me? I really want to meet her. After a moment of thought, Ethan recited a short verse. Lend me but 2 ounces of worldly ink, to write of Jianghu's love and sin. Then I'll take a lamp from a sacred peak, to forget the past and the youth within. He then took a sip of his wine. Peter, treating the poem like a precious treasure, quickly wrote it down with a calligraphy brush. Elaine took the poem and handed it to a staff member outside, then came back with a proposition for Peter. Since my brother and I helped you out, how are you going to thank us? Peter, ever generous, replied, whether I get to meet her or not, how about I take us all to Macau for a few days? It's not like the mainland there. In Macau, if you have money, you are a god. Ethan's interest was piqued. He'd only ever seen Macau in old gambling movies. Elaine was ecstatic. Yes, Let's leave tomorrow morning. I always dreamed of being a gambling goddess, but my mom crushed that dream with homework. Ethan laughed, remembering how as a child, after watching a Stephen Chow movie, Elaine had secretly bought dice and practiced in a teacup, breaking several cups, and earning a spanking from their mother. Downstairs, the host, Serena Xie, returned to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, my lady has reviewed all the poems. Please congratulate Mr. Peter Zhao from the second floor for winning the opportunity to meet with her. Murmurs spread through the crowd as people tried to place the name, until someone identified him as a scion of the powerful Zhao family from the capital, related by marriage to Shanghai's own Qin family. In their private room, Peter was dancing with joy. As he opened the door to leave, he was blocked by a man with a cold expression. It was Spencer Han, the young master of the Han family from the capital, a rival to the Zhaos. Peter Zhao, I'm surprised to see you in Shanghai, Spencer sneered. I heard you were a good-for-nothing, but I never thought you'd be a fraud who could win Lady Flora's favor. I suggest you get lost. She is not for you to covet. Spencer Han, you've got a lot of nerve, Peter shot back. Lady Flora wants to see me. What's it to you? What are you going to do about it? Bite me? Elaine burst out laughing. Spencer's face turned purple with rage. Phone, he snarled. Teach these two a lesson. A middle-aged man shot out from behind him, lunging towards Peter and Elaine. Ethan watched calmly, not moving a muscle. An external force martial artist was no match for Shadow 3. Just as the man, Feng, was about to reach Elaine, a black shadow flickered. With a dull thud, Feng was sent flying into a wall, coughing up blood. Everyone stared in shock at the new figure that had appeared. Before they could speak, Ethan gave an order. Shadow 3, break his arm. In a blur, the shadow moved again. Spencer Han screamed as his left arm was broken, hanging limply at his side. He glared at Ethan with pure hatred. Ethan looked at him with disdain. You should be grateful your guard didn't try to kill her, otherwise neither of you would be leaving this room alive. My name is Ethan Yi. If you have a problem with me, you know where to find me. Defeated, Spencer helped his guard up and they staggered away. Elaine looked at her brother with awe. Brother, that was amazing. Who was that lady in black? A friend of yours? Ethan was baffled by his sister. Most girls would be terrified, but she seemed thrilled. She's your bodyguard, Shadow 3. She will protect you from any threat. But be careful. Shadow 3 is capable of killing. If you don't want to see that, try to stay out of trouble. Peter was now looking at Ethan with a pleading expression. Ethan cut him off. Don't even look at me like that, or I'll have Shadow 3 deal with you. I know what you're thinking. I don't have many Grandmaster-level guards to spare. Peter was speechless. Grandmaster-level guards? And he had more than one. The Zhao family, a top-tier family in the capital, had only one peak internal strength master. Even a lower-level one would be fine. Peter begged. I don't have any. Now go meet your Flora Hua, before I have Shadow 3 throw you over there. As Peter slowly backed away, the faint outline of Shadow 3 appeared behind him, and he fled.